The big laboratory. Albotters is speaking to Anna and Lilith. God works through us, God gave us heaven, God gave us free will to innovate, and we created hell on earth. We have spent our whole lives, centuries and millennia trying to understand God's way, and we did it. We created the machine. We created hell. But something happened, mutations and diseases corrupted it, and people started taking advantage of loopholes and bugs. We yet again managed to create hell on earth. It's time we update the old machine, for it is filled with cancer and viruses. It's time to rewrite history, to rewrite humanity, to rewrite the machine. Kareem says, would you rather be buried or get cremated? A young lady wearing a tulle bandai shirt and a coat holding a plastic bag with coffee in it replies, cremated as in burned. She goes to the library and proceeds to sit on it, placing the bag next to her while Kareem goes to his desk and sits on his chair holding his phone. Kareem answers, yeah, burned to ashes. Anna replies, you pay your dues to earth, you fed off it for all these years, and when you die it feeds off you. Kareem replies, we just don't have spaces anymore. Anna without hesitation replies, earth is bigger than you think. Kareem, seeing that Anna picked her phone up, starts talking, you saw the stuff I sent on the group, it's really interesting. The virus mimicry with their structures and geometry. Well, a virus could act like something from your own body and make the body activate its immune system that eventually stresses it. Or it could evolve to mimic our cells so that it could hide in plain sight without our bodies detecting it. Now structures, that's whole other story. While Kareem rambles on virus structures, Anna opens a conversation of the group with YouTube links to what Kareem is talking about. She gets a text privately from Doria, their friend, you're really going to do this? We see the past phone conversation with Doria, Anna writing, I've already crushed the pills. Anna types, he has been obsessing over something, he calls it the game, he needs to take them, it's been too long. After Kareem stopped talking about viruses, Anna in a haze asks, what were we talking about? Death and then viruses. Kareem answers, sweet, she replies. Kareem continues to say, if we die let's give our bodies to science. Hasn't science fucked with the living enough? Anna replies. Kareem says, you're gonna regret saying that when science is our only hope for a cure. Anna replies, well, sometimes it is the problem. Anna gets a text from Doria again, I don't think you should do it, he seemed fine at the dinner. Anna replies to Kareem while reading the text, I already do. Just let the dead die in peace. She comes off the library and starts the boiler to make coffee. Kareem was on his phone this whole time, and apparently he was on Twitter. You know when Twitter does its thing and bunch similar tweets together. We see Anna reaching for 2 cups but only gets 1. She replies, yeah, kinda, 2 tweets right on top of each other. I could just die looking at this puppy. I'm in work, kill me now. Really, everything is about death today. Kareem gets up from the chair by the desk and walks towards his rug. Anna replies, it's funny what boredom makes us say. Kareem glares at his rug while Anna was reoccupied with the phone. Kareem says, maybe we all died one day and we just don't know it. Anna looks up from her phone and pays attention to what he is saying. He continues, living consecutive lives, forgetting the one that came before. I think death is a place where you finally feel in tune with the world, complete. You see the hidden identity of things as if the world started sharing its secrets with you. Most of the time you are blocked, you can't see it, but when you die you see beyond it. You see the worlds overlapping. Everything appears in place, the place it's supposed to be. Anna asks him, you think just before we die we finally understand it all? The meaning of life? He thinks for a bit and then replies, we already know what we need to know, we just have to repeatedly discover it again and again. That's probably what people mean when they say they want to die, they just want to discover the world with new eyes. Anna trying to change the subject because she knows Kareem misses his dad who passed away having Alzheimer's. She says, well, we solved that issue, didn't we? I keep reminding myself that my boyfriend is a philosophy major. Anyways, change of topic. Care to finally tell me what you have been working on for your paper? He takes a blank sheet of paper. Anna closes the curtains. Both Anna and Kareem walk towards the 2 chalkboards in the room. Kareem excitedly says, yes, are you ready? Anna nods her head and away he goes. Here, let's place 3 points, this point, this one and this one. Now place a dot wherever you want. Anna places a dot on the board between the 3 dots. Kareem tells her to roll the dice. Anna says it's a 4 inches. Kareem says, we just measure the distance from your point you placed initially, which you picked randomly, to this point representing the 2 numbers, and place a dot on the midpoint of this line. So here we go, roll again. Anna gets a 6 from the point we made before. We do the same thing again. We measure the distance and put a point where the midpoint is. As they are rolling the dice and placing points, Kareem was making a paper airplane and puts it on the table while Anna keeps rolling the dice and placing dots on the board. How many times do we have to do this? She asks. Well, infinitely, by doing the same thing over and over we are iterating, he replied. Well, it's irritating me. Anna sighs. Well, that's why we let computers do things for us. He goes to the computer, types Sierpinski triangle. We see Anna going back to see the screen, then we take a look at the monitor and it's an animation of the dots being placed quickly. No matter where we begin or however random the dice is, the dots always lump together and form this never-ending shape, a fractal. Kareem says, with okay, that's cool, she replied. Kareem continues, so my paper is on how this relates to our memory and how we remember things. Anna replies, I'm not following. Kareem finishes his airplane and puts it on the table, but he secretly made a paper boat also. He proceeds to explain, when you remember something you go to a place of infinite possibilities like our little points in the dice roll. It's random, it's chaos, and your mind magically patches things together that make sense to you. He continues, when you learn something, this image in your head changes. It morphs into something new, something different. Kareem places the boat instead of the airplane. What if these mathematical equations can help us understand how we patch our memories up? What if we can learn to map out our memories and translate them numerically? Then use the mathematical equations to understand the relationship between our conscious and unconscious. Anna says, you lost me again. Kareem explains, to create a machine that mimics our brains and traces our thoughts. Think of a computer now. Look closely. What is on the screen? What if we learn to type on this imaginary computer in your mind? What will it show us? What if we learn to research? What if the thoughts, the chaos inside of us, arranges itself in a particular order? All of the chaos inside of us becomes a shape that we can study. He points at the Sierpinski triangle. The Sierpinski triangle. Anna then pauses for a bit and says, so a machine that gives us reports on our memories and thoughts, kinda, he replied. Anna says, I don't like that, honestly. You want us to be more like machines than we already are. I haven't thought of it that way, Kareem replied, thinking of her comment. Anna picks the mug and says, well, I could use a refill. Do you want any? Kareem says, you're gonna ask me if I want tea, aren't you? Anna replies, well, you need to relax then. Kareem says, he'll take a coffee, thank you. As she was headed to make coffee, Anna walks towards the library, while he stayed near the desk. Kareem starts talking, I've been playing a game with a hacker. I know it's crazy, but he hacked into my computer and he helped me discover all of this. Honestly, it changed me. I know so much more about the world. It's kind of scary, but it's exciting. Anna was ignoring him making coffee, with other things on her mind. Before she started the boiler and placed 2 mugs in place, we see her reaching for the pocket of her coat, pulling something out, some kind of powder, then hesitantly slipped it in his coffee mug. It's a schizophrenia medicine that she picked up from his doctor, and she figured that's the only way he is going to take them. She started the boiler. Hearing the boiler heat up, Kareem puts his hand on his neck. He was thinking about his paper. I sometimes hear it when I listen close. The boiler stops. Anna says, hear what? Kareem answers this. He points at the board that has the Mandelbrot graph drawn onto it. And what is that? Anna asks. She hands him the coffee with the medicine. It's probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's the void. Here, look. The Mandelbrot graph. They are both at the board looking at the drawing closely. He continues, it's called the Mandelbrot set, a function on a graph that iterates to infinity, but it's like a map. In every corner there is a world waiting to be explored, an endless reality. If you zoom in on one of these corners, you will see that it goes on and on. It's like our thoughts. Maybe I'll show you. Kareem goes to the computer, puts his mug on the table and types Mandelbrot. We see a Mandelbrot zoom that goes on to infinity until we see another one of the initial shape hidden within it. We overhear Albaters talking to Lilith. We need Anna on our side. God bless her, she is doing the best she can to help Kareem, but all she is doing is making him worse. She is unknowingly giving him the medicine that will delay the truth. Kareem doesn't have schizophrenia, he just sees what others can't see, and he struggles to articulate it, and the problem is, even if he articulates it, no one will believe him and people would think of him as delusional. It's how the machine works, how the system works. It hates being observed, it hates being seen. So everything, when it comes to the machine, to the metaphysical, to the unexplainable, is bound with a thin line that breaks easily. If we come to say to normal people that the machine of life is the birth of consciousness and the biological mechanisms of the world relate on the DNA code and our whole experience is a simulation, it could seem logical. But real life is like this very small fragile thread that breaks easily when you try to define or prove the truth. And so people like Kareem are stuck in a system that doesn't want to get proven, easily categorized as delusional when he is the one trying to seek the truth and avoid delusion, playing this game of misery with the world. But with his misery, with his discoveries, new worlds are being born, better and stronger and more logical. The collective unconscious is growing again, getting a rebirth, stronger with every iteration. Lilith asks, but are you saying that no one has schizophrenia? Albatross replies, on the contrary, some people have a genetic disposition to it, some people are being eaten up by viruses, and some people smoke too much weed. What I'm saying is that the system of life has birthed an impossible situation for people like Kareem who are seeking the truth to be bunched up with the people who actually have it. But back to our problem, time is of the essence. We cannot wait for Kareem and we cannot afford Anna giving him the medicine. We need Khaled to make the machine again. The sound of the street is loud. We see Anna leaving Karim's place contemplating whether she did the right thing or not. As she is walking she feels a girl following her. She decides to take a new route. She takes a left. She passes by an antique computer shop when Al-Badr stands in front of her blocking her way. He says, "This is not the last time I do this to you," and he puts his finger on her forehead and she faints. Anna wakes up in a room filled with old computers. A beautiful Persian rug covers the floor. A crystal chandelier seems misplaced hangs on the ceiling. It's the back entrance of Al-Badr's shop. Anna is lying down. Lilith and Al-Badr are watching an old monitor flashing images of what is inside Anna's mind. It's the technology the room provided. This room is no ordinary room. It is a place between alternate realities. It has always existed from the beginning of time until now, which is now Al-Badr's shop. It is capable of doing extraordinary things like travel between dimensions and realities. It also provides technologies unknown to human being like the old monitor that can see into someone's mind. What was that? Anna exclaimed. Who are you? Al-Badr calms Anna down. No need to be frightened. We are here to ask for your help. I am Al-Badr. I represent mental illness and the road to enlightenment. Lilith introduces herself. Lilith, sort of a demon sent from hell working in God's way. Anna was amazed. What in the world is going on? Demon from hell, like really? And you represent mental illness? What does that even mean? And I have no idea why, even though you are complete strangers. I feel like I've known you my whole life. Al-Badr says, no need to worry. We have been with you since the beginning of time and you have been with us, but we are here asking for your help. Anna asks, my help with what? Al-Badr then replies, first you must remember, you must understand. Al-Badr moves his hands in a circular fashion and the whole room changes and morphs. Al-Badr then says, we are going back in time. For you must understand the machine to understand what is needed from you. We see a little boy in bed talking to himself. He gets up from bed, feeds the cat and continues talking to himself. Anna asks, who is this kid? Lilith answers, this is Adam. He is sort of my problem, not yours. The kid goes and turns on the TV and waters the plants, has something to eat, and then he goes to his bedroom and starts collecting books and papers. Then goes outside to an abandoned school that magically changed and became filled with kids. Anna asks, how is he doing that? Al-Badr replies, Adam is a special kid. He has been chosen by God to influence the machine, to influence reality with his thoughts. Now pay attention. Adam proceeds to go inside the school and go to one of the classrooms. As he enters, the teacher changes the topic from geography to biology. The boy sits on a chair and every student gets handed a paper with this printed on it. Al-Badr, Anna and Lilith are in the class watching. Lilith asks, what is he doing? Al-Badr answers, Adam is processing his thoughts. He is understanding the reality he is in. Moiety. It's just the name of the reality that governs other realities. He is trying to understand, like we are, how the machine works. This is his interpretation of the DNA as a world's clock. Listen, it might be useful. The amino acid wheel, it looks like a clock, doesn't it? Adam goes on to explain each amino acid. All of the amino acids are dependent on each other and it's a well-woven intricate system. 20 amino acids, the very fabric of moiety. Understand them and you will understand your stay in moiety, the reality that is not reality but in between realities. The room changes back to its original state and Adam is nowhere to be seen. Anna asks, what do amino acids have to do with anything? Why are we seeing this? Al-Badr looks at Anna and says, you see, dear Anna, the world is not what you think. It is made of realities stacked on top of each other. We call them levels. The level of bacteria in your gut. The level of chemicals like serotonin and dopamine interacting with each other in your brain. The physical level, the metaphysical one, and countless other levels that cannot be numbered. These levels affect everything and affect each other, but most importantly they affect your reality. What do I mean by reality? I mean what you are conscious and unconscious of. The reality of which governs you and you are playing a role in. We just can't comprehend it since it is too complex to understand. We know that our bodies fall ill when doubt enters our world, and we know that we can affect our health. Anna then says, so we live out the stories that are written in our amino acids. Al-Badr replies, the smallest Lego piece that makes our body, how the machine works. Anna then asks, what is this machine you speak of? Al-Badr smiles, for he knows Anna is keeping up and understanding and remembering what she already knew instinctively. He replies, many years ago after we have split the atom we understood everything that needs to be understood about life. So we created a machine to govern us. We did that not of choice, but we had the ability to see the future and all of our futures and possible realities were doomed. You see, when we were playing with atoms, we were playing with the very fabric of our existence. We didn't know that atoms could affect each other. We always held on to the idea of locality, or in other words, that atoms affect their immediate surroundings, not understanding that the whole world is connected. We were playing with things that were out of our understanding. But God wanted to prove to us that we have free will, and so God let us do it by allowing us to reach this point in technology and advancement, and with it we saw the future. We saw that all possible worlds lead to destruction. So we created the machine to save us, a machine that governs humanity and our daily lives. It controls us and controls reality, and God made it so to again prove to us that we have free will in a deterministic world. But this machine over time fell prey to people finding loopholes, to viruses and cancer. We yet again managed to create hell on earth. So this machine needs to be done again, a better version that can save us from what we have reached, and that is the job of Khaled. Anna asks, who is Khaled? Al-Badr said, Khaled, the immortal one. He is the one that made the machine before but doesn't remember. He is extremely important, and all we are doing is for him to succeed in his job. Adam, indicative of the human being. Who dares to have a conscience? Who dares to have an imagination? The one responsible in shifting realities by his thoughts. Kareem, where you are concerned, the generous one, the one who seeks to understand the machine and help Khaled and Adam overcome their obstacles to reach what is beyond. Anna then says, great, we will let them meet each other and figure it out. Lilith then says, it's not that simple. You see, if they meet, they create a singularity. They affect each other from a distance, but they cannot meet. Anna then says, how do they affect each other from afar? Al-Badr steps in and says, life is nothing but a simulation. Imagine this machine like orbs of knowledge and experiences floating in a space that transcend reality and is in another dimension. We gift each other epiphanies through a series of tasks. We work our basic instinct of finding solutions to provide solutions for others, and to ourselves. Imagine a world that is connected and everyone is trying to find a solution for a problem that is happening on multiple realities. For example, an electrician fixing the wiring in a building, while a programmer tries to program an application, while a writer is trying to write a sentence he is stuck on that will determine the outcome of the book, while a surgeon is removing a tumor. And a protein is being made and folded in a baby's body that is still in the womb. All of these realities are happening simultaneously and with different people, yet they are connected. A correct wire connection from the electrician fuels a eureka moment for the writer, while the surgeon is carefully cutting the blood vessels that connect to the tumor, being careful not to nick an artery or a healthy blood vessel. All of this connected to a machine that is processing data. This data is the data of life, the body of God. And it is fueled by our efforts of finding solutions to problems, of transcending realities and reaching higher states of consciousness. Anna then says, this is too complicated to comprehend. You said you needed my help. What do you need from me? Al-Badr says, we need you to remember. You see Alex. Anna interrupts, who is Alex? Lilith then says, he is the guy screwing us over. He was supposed to be good but turned to the dark side in search of dark energy. Al-Badr then says, Alex was a good person at first, but his thirst for energy has led him to a self-destructive path. He calls himself Thoth. He is number one in the old machine, and he is calling his way God's way. He thinks viruses and mutations are the answer to our energy crises, not knowing that it is the same thing that is causing the crisis itself. He went rogue and we can't find him. But we know he is going to die soon, we don't know how. Anna then says, so we have an energy crisis? Is the electricity going to go off? Al-Badr laughs, not that type of energy, my dear, but our energy. Humans are losing their energy and their will to live. If we don't remake the machine soon, it will be catastrophic for humans, for people will not have the power to get out of bed. You see, the only way to make energy is through the positive feedback loops of the world. Evil has corrupted us and sucked all of our good energy. So you see diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's pop up in the world, lethargy and an unwillingness to live. But now what is needed from you, Anna, is to remember, we need to find Alex. Anna agrees and sits on the floor next to the old monitor, and suddenly the monitor starts glitching until an image pops up. Kareem and Anna are in a kitchen overhearing their friends talking in the background. Anna, as always, is making coffee. We see her trying to turn on the burner with an empty lighter. She succeeds, then she puts the water on the burning stove and turns towards Kareem. Meanwhile, we hear the trash truck taking the garbage outside. This is happening while Samir, a friend of Kareem and Anna, is complaining about postmodernism to Doria. Anna and Kareem just stand there staring at each other, overhearing their friends shouting at each other. It is as if they are fighting through their friends. It is as if their conflict of not taking the medicine has transcended to a talk about socialism and capitalism and is embodied with their friends. Samir says the postmodernists understand one thing, and it's a crucial thing, that socialism is nothing more than a rebel phase, something you go through in your teenage years, and pass away. They just want everyone to stay teenagers and never grow up to actually read history and the horrific things this ideology has caused. Just fill your brains out with Camus and Derrida and forget about the rest of the world. Both friends enter the kitchen placing dishes that seem to have chicken and potato remains in the sink. Then Doria, defending socialism, says that's so untrue. And please stop acting like you grew up and became woke all of a sudden cause you discovered social Darwinism and you jack off to capitalism now. You have no idea about class consciousness, and what freedom even means. If you think we are teenagers, then you are a small child for being so dumb not to notice how the system is screwing us over and keeping us in the Stone Age. The house is on fire and you don't realize that they are the ones that keep burning it. Samir yells, who are they? Doria exclaimed, your millionaire friends and this fucked up system we live in. Samir says it's not the millionaires, it's literally the aliens, the reptiles and the Atlantans controlling us and controlling our brains. Doria replies, you really think so? You really don't think it's just the future versions of ourselves controlling everything that happens? Trying to save us from creating singularities? Samir says, who knows, but let's not forget the mole people. The conversation started to die off as Anna and Kareem are still not speaking and some silence took over from the garbage truck and their friends yelling at each other. Anna sees the water is boiling and goes to put the coffee in. We see her counting the teaspoons, one by one, 4 teaspoons. After finishing her count, Anna finally broke the silence and turns towards him. You're not taking your meds, aren't you? Kareem exclaimed. What? Anna repeats, you are not taking your meds. The coffee floods and Anna goes to save it. Kareem asks, why is it so important to you? Anna answers, because you need to keep taking them consistently. Why aren't you taking them? Kareem says, I need to write something for my thesis. I'm so late I don't even have a topic yet. It's like I'm stuck in a weird reality. Whenever I'm on them I feel incomplete, like something is missing, something unfinished. Anna replies, but Kareem, we've been over this. It's not the meds, it's you. You need to change your mentality. Kareem rudely moves away. No, you don't get it. It is the meds. Kareem moves towards the door only to be blocked by Samir. An awkward pause follows where Samir senses the remnants of a fight. Samir talks to Kareem, here's the papers for the exam and I downloaded the game you wanted. The friend hands him a USB. Kareem rejoices, you found the game. Samir replies, yeah, I got some help from Alex, the new janitor of all people. Anna wakes up, we need to go to the university. Lilith says Adam also needs to remember, he needs a shock to start realizing the life that he has been living is all a lie. He needs to remember his powers so that Khalid can start with the machine. We see Adam in college in an English literature class. He is in front of the class nervous as hell. We can see his legs shaking a bit when the teacher asks him, what have you written for us today, Adam? He hesitantly says, I wrote about chaos. The teacher replies, please start sharing. Adam starts reading from his textbook. When chaos reaps into our lives, it's exponential. It multiplies and grows until your whole life is dark and out of balance. We know everything around us has the potential of blowing up in our faces, morphing into this orb of negative energy, moving through space but backwards in time, reliving all of the miseries of our past again and again until we decide to stop it. While Adam was reading, the class was either half asleep or half busy, daydreaming, but one person's face lit up when he started reading. Lilith. As they were going out of class, the teacher reminds them, remember our exam next Monday. I expect you to write a passage of your own writing. Adam went to the cafeteria. On his way he passes Anna in the hallway trying to find the janitor. He ordered a salad and sat alone as always. He takes a bite from his salad, and Lilith shows up at his table. Lilith says hi with lettuce hanging out of his mouth. He says hi. He quickly fixes his composure and swallows the food properly. Lilith says, I really liked what you wrote in English class. Adam says, really? Lilith then says, yeah, I just said really twice. I'm having friends over this Saturday. You should pass by. I'll text you the address. Adam says, sure. And away went Lilith. Adam was mesmerized by her presence. After a small pause he looks at the plate and all the lettuce has turned yellow and withered, but Adam didn't care much for lettuce. It was a Wednesday and it was long way ahead to Saturday. Anna on the other hand was asking people for the janitor Alex and it seems no one remembers him, so she goes to Samir and asks him. Samir finished his class and went out. Anna quickly moves towards him and says, hi, I have something to ask you. Remember the USB you gave to Kareem? Who gave it to you? Samir says, yeah, I gave him a USB with the papers and the game that night. But what the hell, I forgot who gave me the USB. Anna shocked that no one remembers Alex. It is as if amnesia has struck all people who came in contact with him. Adam had a couple of more classes left. He finished them and went back home. On his way out of university he noticed a little sticker on a stop sign that he has never noticed before. It had a logo with a serpent and it read, you will never know the truth unless you are one of us. Adam continues walking and takes the bus. At home, Adam took a bite of the burger that had bovine encephalopathy and salmonella, not forgetting E. coli from the lettuce. Needless to say, he had a rough night. But you see, Adam was always on a regiment of diseases that disrupts his brain's neurogenesis and from remembering his past and remembering his powers, and he formed a sort of homeostasis with them so they wouldn't affect him like others, even though they are eating his brains up. The only difference this night is the attention that Lilith gave him, and Lilith knew what she was doing. Adam, for the first time in years, could fight back and overcome the diseases. Adam decided to not eat anymore, and this is exactly what Lilith and Albaters wanted, the proven benefits of intermittent fasting. But the problem is Adam took it too far and didn't eat for 5 days, during which he did the opposite of what was needed. He let diseases be more powerful and take control of the world, since he didn't have enough serotonin and health to overcome them. Meanwhile, Khaled was in the hospital. The doctor came into the exam room and looked at Khaled's chart. He took a glance at Khaled sitting there patiently, nervous that it would be a detrimental disease like cancer or Parkinson's or MS. The doctor closed his chart and looked at him and said, "Your results show that you don't have Parkinson's. Which is good, and it seems that you have a rare disorder called dopamine transporter syndrome, whereas the name implies you lack dopamine transporters that transfer dopamine between synapses." Khaled looked right through the doctor and had the realization that the doctors are desperate and this was their last choice. Khaled, disappointed and not really understanding how this could have happened to him, took a sigh of relief that he doesn't have Parkinson's or MS. He then looked at the doctor and asked, "Is it curable?" Of which the doctor replied, "Well, not really. Given that you are refusing to take benzodiazepines, I have no choice but to give you an antidepressant that should fix you right up." The doctor swiftly wrote a prescription as if he had done a million times before for a standard MAO inhibitor and gave it to Khaled. It was late and around sunset. Khaled noticed the doctor was finishing off his shift. By the small yawn the doctor diligently tried to conceal and how quickly he made his diagnosis. Khaled, not satisfied with what he got, decided to keep his mouth shut. He really didn't want to show it. He understands that it's a losing game with whatever question or remark he had for the doctor. And so gave the fakest, most sincere smile he could muster and took the prescription and got out of the clinic. On the street he looked at the paper and said to himself, "He'll fill it out tomorrow." What he really wanted is to go back home and try working on his project. Maybe this time it would work and the episodes won't happen to him. As he walked back home he crossed the traffic jam of people coming back from their work. He decided to go right this time and take the long way home. He really likes passing by an antique computer shop. Yes, they really had one of those. The shop had all types of old computers that time has rendered them useless, in addition to game consoles and old games. Khaled never went into the shop. He always liked to look at the storefront but never had the energy to go in. It was like a magnetic force that kept him from going inside, and straight his eyes to what is behind the glass on display instead of what is inside. Just as Khaled reached the street he for the first time saw the store owner with his cat following him outside closing the shop. Khaled sneaked a peek at the store owner, but it was as if he was battling himself and a strong magnetic force to reach his face. But Khaled persevered and finally snuck a look at his face. He seemed somehow of an old man because of his subtle limp on his right foot. That was the aura he gave off, but still with further inspection he looked young. The man completely mutating in Khaled's eyes, for he kept seeing him in different shapes and forms, but as Khaled focused he saw the truth. Khaled was somehow paralyzed, standing in shock trying to look at this man, until he finally reached his eyes and he was wearing a leather eye patch over his left eye. The owner of the shop, closing the steel rails of his shop, bent over to lock it. He calmly glances at Khaled standing there, then looked away and went on his way. A whistle alerted his cat that didn't keep its eyes off Khaled. After the whistle it quickly followed the owner of the shop as he walked away, and Khaled's shock was over. He exclaimed to himself, "What was that?" He walked over to the closed shop and said to himself, "No old computers for me today." Khaled went on his way to his house and went inside. His house had nothing special about it, but it was messy, but in a good way. Khaled thinks he knows where everything really is, but he really doesn't. When it comes down to it, his place was really a mess, but it is one of those messes that you would like to look at. Everything served a purpose, and if it was needed it was put in the front, until eventually everything was put in the front and nothing was where it was supposed to be. But really he was comfortable at his place, and that's all that mattered. He fed his goldfish and sat at his computer waiting. The clock struck 7 p.m. and he started opening his project files and his notes and reading through them. He finished recollecting his thoughts and finally was ready to write his code. The moment he laid his hands on the keyboard he started shaking uncontrollably. He stood up from his chair and let out an anger grunt, smashing the keyboard into the desk in a very controlled way so that he doesn't break it, with the sound of horns and yelling outside from the city. When will this stop? As a sound of a siren from an ambulance passed by, he shouted. He lost control of his body. He focuses and tries to control the shaking, and it stops for a bit only to return back stronger. He figured it was of no use and he goes to his bed early. His body finally calmed down. He laid there on his bed hearing the city outside. The city didn't care for his sorrow. The city didn't care that he can't fulfill his dreams. The next morning Khaled gets up early and goes to fill his prescription. His morale was down and he really was not in a mood for anything. He had the choice of going the long way and pass by the antique computer shop or go the short way, and so he decided to go right again, the short way this time. He went straight to the pharmacy and got the drug. On his way back he noticed something strange. He saw the cat from yesterday, the one that belonged to the owner of the shop, walking in front of him. After a good 2 minutes of walking, the cat looked back at Khaled, and so Khaled stops in his ground. The cat then walked straight for a bit until it took a sudden left into an alley. Khaled entered the alley. A raven flied by Khaled and went to the corner. Khaled was amazed, he never sees ravens in the city, and so he went to the corner and there was the crow sitting on a sign that said Al-Badrs and a door half closed. Khaled was intrigued but decided not to trouble anyone and wanted to leave, but when he had the idea to leave, the raven started cawing, as if it was in his mind. So Khaled hesitantly decided to enter the door. It was like a small apartment filled with old computers and computer parts. He saw a fridge and a small counter that looked like a mini kitchen in the corner. A beautiful dusty rug covered the floor. There was a place to sit on the ground on the other end of the room and a door that was closed. Khaled saw the cat and realized it was the back door to the antique computer shop he always fancied. He started inspecting the room and the old computer parts and was fascinated how far we have come along in technology. He saw old keyboards and mice, motherboards and monitors, an old CPU that is kept in mint condition. Khaled fancied the old keyboards, and the moment he moved his hand to touch one of the keys, the door leading to the store opened and Khaled jumped like a scared cat and realized it was the owner of the shop. Al-Badr said, "So whom did the cat let in this time?" as he went to the kitchen and opened a can of food for the cat. Khaled, nervous, didn't know what to do with himself. He exclaimed, "Hello sir, I was just checking the computers you have back here, they are really fascinating. Excuse me for the intrusion, I could leave right away." Al-Badr fed the cat and looked at Khaled with his one eye, and said to him, "You are a nervous fella, aren't you?" Khaled pulled himself together and replied, "Not really, only when I'm an intruder and in a place I don't belong." Al-Badr looked at him and replied, "Don't worry, you belong here, I can see it in your eyes. Have a seat, let us talk." Al-Badr continued, "Do you believe in magic?" Khaled replied, "I don't know. Even though I'm a programmer, I believe in science and medicine." Al-Badr then said, "Then I will be your guide using science." Khaled exclaimed, "A guide for what?" Al-Badr then said, "What you seek lies in the world of magic and chaos, far beyond what you comprehend." Khaled replied, "And how do you know what I seek?" Al-Badr gives off a small smile and says, "Let us start from the beginning so that I don't freak you out. However, I need you to start believing in magic, and so I will start talking. You seek to build an artificial intelligence, isn't that right?" Khaled, a bit surprised but figured it was some sort of trick, said, "Yes, that's true." Al-Badr then said, "But something is stopping you, isn't it?" Khaled was a bit unhinged that this man knows what is happening to him, but decided to suck it up and continue the conversation. "Yes, every time I start to work on it, my body starts shaking uncontrollably. I can't control it. It is as if my body doesn't want me to continue working. The doctor said it is something called dopamine transporter deficiency and gave me those pills we see the pharmacy bag in Khaled's hands." Al-Badr then replied, "Well, I might say, what is wrong with you is that you lack purpose and faith, and I will prove it to you by magic and science as well. The moment you stepped into this door, you have entered an alternate dimension, and you will go back and forth through realities and settings, for example between this room and your house on your computer. But you will go places far beyond your imagination, and you will see things far greater than your comprehension. You must allow yourself to grow, you must allow yourself to transcend realities." Khaled stayed silent for a bit, processing everything. Then he asked, "What do you mean, transcend realities?" Al-Badr let out a small laugh and said to Khaled, "It seems you are on your path. I'm happy. We will start with our first lesson, how to transcend realities and move through them seamlessly." Al-Badr got up and went to the kitchen part of the room. He boiled some water and got garlic and saffron. He added some lemon juice to the boiling water and the garlic, then he proceeded to add the saffron. He sat next to Khaled and said to him, "Where you go, I go. Take your pills." Khaled looked at Al-Badr and said, "These are not the same," comparing the pills to Al-Badr's drink. Al-Badr laughed and said, "No, my new friend, these are not the same at all, but they do the same thing. Garlic is a natural MAO inhibitor and so is saffron, but I do not recommend saffron for its benefits you pay for with other things you will see later." When you take MAO inhibitors, you are disabling the enzymes that break down dopamine, and so theoretically you should have more dopamine in your brain. But you will soon learn that this is not a thing you always want, and it is not something that is helpful, but on the contrary it is something that might be harmful. Khaled took a deep breath and said, then I don't want to take the pill if it could be harmful. I want to drink the natural substances. Like you, what if it has irreversible side effects? Al-Badrs replied, the world has led you to the pill, and nothing is irreversible. With help of some magic I will grant you more dopamine transporters. Take the pill and we will start. Khaled swallowed the pill and Al-Badrs drank his tea. Khaled said nothing changed, nothing happened. Al-Badrs replied, that is the point. You think that nothing changed, but a lot of things have changed in your mind, and so we will start your first lesson. What is dopamine? Khaled replied, it is a chemical in our brain. Al-Badrs then said, true, but truly think of it. Dopamine is not just a chemical, it is the manifestation of an idea in your brain. This idea could be bad or it could be good. It is an idea in the truest form, raw and untethered. Now most people don't hear the idea, they only feel it and say it like robots. What we will learn today is how to actually listen. How to hear those ideas rushing through our brains and not be a victim of what our bodies decide what is good and what is bad, but let our awoken conscious decide. But first you must understand, how does the body decide? Dopamine is like a circle. When you are drawing a circle, you start from a point and go back to it, and that is how dopamine works. It gives a lot of ideas that all led back to same place. Now serotonin, which is like a triangle and sometimes a square inside the circle, is how our bodies decide what ideas are good. It picks points inside this circle, and that is when you feel good. It's not dopamine that makes you feel good. Dopamine only makes you more excited to continue your journey. It is the ideas that serotonin picks that make you feel euphoria. Now we have drew a circle and a triangle in it. Norepinephrine is like the straight line in between that makes your heart know what is right and what is wrong. But now the circle is no longer a circle. We have chosen good ideas from this circle with serotonin and norepinephrine and made it elevate into a spiral. This is how we transcend and move through realities. You are stuck in a plane of existence drawing circles, and you must elevate to create spirals. Khaled didn't understand what Al-Badrs was saying and only wanted to work on his project, for he felt the urge to work. Khaled politely said, I think I understand, even though he didn't, and continued by saying, I need to go back home and work on the project. Al-Badrs smiled and said, off you go, and away did Khaled go to his apartment. When he reached his apartment, he sat on his computer and directly started working. He took another pill from the bottle. He said to himself, finally, I can work. Khaled spent days working, and he somehow forgot about Al-Badrs and what Al-Badrs taught him, until one day he realized he is going nowhere. He was literally running in circles, not achieving anything, but working so much. Khaled was disappointed with himself and didn't know what to do. He walked back to the back door of the shop and knocked on the door. Al-Badrs opened the door and greeted him. They sat and started talking. Al-Badrs asked, what is the problem? Khaled replied, I seem to have dug myself in a hole. I regained my ability to work without shaking, but am not going anywhere. I'm recreating what I have already done and not innovating something new. I'm sorry I left last time in a hurry, but I felt the urge to work and didn't focus on what you were saying. Al-Badrs laughed and said, who said you ever left? Khaled was confused and asked, what do you mean, and how did this get here? He saw the medicine bottle that he bought on the day he entered. Al-Badrs laughed and asked Khaled to look at the date of the prescription filled out. It was still the same date. Khaled was amazed and confused. Al-Badrs quickly said, don't be frightened, this is the nature of this room, but I must ask you, what did you learn? Khaled paused for a bit and replied, nothing. I reached nowhere, which makes me believe that dopamine is not the answer, but it did fix my problem. Maybe I should get another medication? Maybe. Something that will give me all of the chemicals that you talked about. Al-Badrs laughed, you are smart but not as smart as you think. Another medication will not help you. You will stay stuck in your ways. So try to remember, what do you need to elevate and transcend your reality? Khaled thought for a bit, I need the other chemicals, serotonin and norepinephrine. Al-Badrs rejoiced, great, let us start then. If you have noticed, you had the ability to work more, but you still didn't gain the ability to listen to your internal conversation. You are still a slave to the world and to your masters. Your masters being your instincts, and the people in your life who control them. Khaled stopped Al-Badrs, what do you mean, people who control them? Al-Badrs continued, soon you will realize that this life is nothing but a machine working, very similar to the AI you are working on. We as humans, we are bound by rules that you will understand as you progress through life. And you will realize that there is a reality where people in real life are the ones that decide your fate, and decide your thoughts, and decide your actions. But don't despair the moment you are aware of them. You break their magic and become independent. Khaled then asked, but really what do you mean? Al-Badrs answered, humans are like robots that work through realities. The only difference we have from robots is that we have free will, but only when we are awakened to it. In reality we don't have free will, but when we transcend realities and become aware of our masters, the people who influence us and control us, we become burdened with the concept of free will. It is not easy and it is not pleasant, but at least you gain control. You must understand that you are an individual in a system far greater than you, and everyone plays a role in this system, and being aware of this system is the reason why people become mentally ill. Because it might seem that they have lost control over themselves, but in reality they have gained control of their brain by being aware of the machine, but still haven't gained control of their bodies. And so they are burdened by the idea, which is the source of all mental illnesses, is that they are not in control and people can easily influence them. But do not despair, for your journey will teach you how to control yourself and control your mind, so that you choose the foreign influences that control you. Khaled then asked, but I want to be fully in control. Al-Badrs laughed. Being fully in control is a huge burden that you are not ready for. It is an idea that will slowly kill you. You must become like a river rushing through a stream flowing with the world, and not become the rock that stays stagnant and doesn't move. The first move is to be aware. The first step is to listen. Khaled asked, how do I do that? Al-Badrs answered, breath. Understand and control your breathing and you control your body and mind. Al-Badrs started teaching Khaled breathing techniques and teaching him to breathe through his nose instead of his mouth, and quickly Khaled started understanding the power of air and breath. It is like our way of filtering thoughts. The more you hold your breath, the more a thought dwells and progresses in your mind, and the moment you breath in, you slowly silence it. When you breath out and deplete your CO2 levels, you slow your heart rate and clear your mind. Khaled started practicing steadily until he was able to actually listen to his mind. He started listening to the streams of thought going into his mind as if it was a radio. He gained control on the channels blocking some and making others speak. He realized that everything in his mind is manifested in the real world. He realized that things happening in his mind is as real as the things that are happening in real life, but all he needs to do is filter out the cancerous thoughts, the thoughts that create diseases. The thoughts that are evil and bad in nature, that corrupt the soul and the mind if they fester, to filter the lies from the truth. With the help of his newfound friend Al-Badrs and his cat and the crow, Khaled started to control the chaos inside of his mind and started to gain control over his body and his actions. Meanwhile, Kareem was playing the game with the hacker, trying to understand the machine. Kareem had a fight with Anna, but Anna was just acting to be hurt because Al-Badrs and Lilith told her to act as if she knew nothing about Alex. While Adam remembered more and more of his life and powers, but he is going to take a trip to the Undercity, the city where all the chaos of his life were manifested. While Khaled and Kareem are steadily improving at their skills, Adam gets ready to go to university, but he sees his notebook that he was writing the passage on it earlier the night before. He sits down and continues writing, and saw the layers of hell and heaven and love. Between them, Adam started to remember. Adam usually takes his earphones, but this time he decided not to take them. He goes down and takes the bus. Two old ladies sit in the seat next to him. One of the ladies started talking about her daughter who after a big fight divorced her husband. Adam was unintentionally listening to the conversation. He takes out his phone to put music on but remembers he didn't take his earphones with him, so he is obliged to sit there listening to the conversation. Adam started to remember that day he wished his parents will get divorced because all of the fighting. You see, at that time his parents started to suspect that they were hurting Adam, but they couldn't stop taking their meds, so they fought a lot about it. The old lady says, poor little thing, talking about her daughter. The experience of her divorce left her traumatized. She has diabetes now. The other lady says to her, poor thing, is she taking any medication? The old lady replies, Janu met Adam, heard the name of the medication and had a flashback. Janu or Janus is the god of time and duality and beginnings. Met in Arabic means dead, or in the amino acid wheel methionine or the start codon. Adam thought to himself, the medication kills Janus from her head, which means she can't start a new beginning, but she doesn't have to remember her traumas. And as Adam is thinking of all that, he falls asleep suddenly and he misses his stop. The driver shouts, next stop the Undercity, but Adam was asleep and didn't hear that. Maybe he was too tired from not getting enough sleep from the nightmare, or maybe Janus was rewarding him for remembering. Adam woke up and found himself in a place he has never seen before. Everything was so different. He is now in the other side of town, the side everyone runs away from. Adam crossed the poverty red line and is now among the people he never sees. Adam found himself alone in the bus. He runs to the driver saying, I missed my stop, we must turn back. The driver shrugs and says, next stop Undercity. We are near. And so the bus stops and the door opens. Adam has no other option but to go down, and down he went. Adam decided to wait near the bus stop for the next bus to come around and take him back to his university, but there were two guys, both had bad tattoos on their arms and neck, looking at him. Both of them looked extremely sickly and thin. The first one said, "I think we caught a fish." The other guy takes out a knife from his pocket and started walking towards Adam. Adam quickly saw what was happening. He panicked and didn't know what to do. One of the guys said, "He will be delicious." Adam realized it was one of his cannibal realities and ran right through the two guys, knocking one over, and started running as fast as he can. The two guys, too sickly to run after him, left him. But Adam is now lost. He finds himself amidst all the mutations he has ever conjured, all the sick and diseased, all the mentally ill, and the people who couldn't handle the harsh realities. He started to remember everything, and the memories came like daggers to his heart. All the tea in the world wouldn't make this go away. He saw poverty, real poverty, of people eating rats and dogs. He saw people yelling at their children and abusing them. He saw robberies and action films of people running and others chasing after them happening in front of his eyes. He saw one of the tourists abusing a girl and another tourist killing a guy in cold blood. Here in the Undercity, all of those tau proteins and bad memories build it up to create an environment so uninhabitable, and yet many people live in. Adam walks in the streets and finds a man yelling, "Too much sugar, too much sugar." Adam tries to avoid him because it seems that he has lice and ticks, because he kept scratching himself. But the man kept moving closer and closer to Adam until he touched him and held his arm, saying to him, "Help us." Adam moves his arm away from the man and says, "How can I help you?" The man is unstable. It is as if with every tick bite he changes the topic of the conversation. He tells Adam they are coming for the oil. Adam said, "What oil?" The man gets bitten and changes the topic. "We live in a battery. Life has a duality to it, a plus and minus sign, and what is above so is below." The man stopped making any sense, but Adam was intrigued. So he asked him again, "How can I help you?" The man answers, "You must remember. If you remember, all the misery and the pain goes away." Adam thinks for a moment to remember what the man says. "They don't know." "What don't they know?" said Adam. "They don't know that all of this misery that we have endured in the Undercity, they will live with every drop of oil they burn. But don't you see, they are using you to make us live in chaos so they can throw us away from our homes. Or at least what we can call home." He points at the tent he has in the back alley. Adam didn't really understand. He asks, "What oil?" The man exclaimed, "The oil, our misery. They want to extract it and burn it so it becomes the misery and cancer of the world." And it is as if a tick has bitten him, and the man changes the subject. He starts to say, "We live in a battery, we live in a nuclear reactor," and goes away to his tent. Adam makes sure that he didn't get any ticks on him and walks away. He finally reached the bus stop by accident, and an old lady was waiting there for the bus. The bus arrived. The old lady says the bus came on time. This is a first, and she and Adam enter the bus, and Adam goes back home. Traumatized by what he saw in the Undercity, Adam prays to understand the meaning of his journey and what has happened. Even though he feels better than he ever did and his memories are starting to come back, yet he finds himself in hell, confronting all his demons and all the bad memories he had ever had. Adam still refused to eat. Something inside of him is purging all the toxicity in his system. And so Adam slept hungry and woke up the next day and had this immediate idea to go to the abandoned school next to his house. But Adam waited. He doesn't know why he waited, but he did until it was 7 p.m. And down he went again. This time when he arrived, the school was still abandoned and there was no one there. Adam enters the school. In the hallway he started to hear some noises of someone cleaning. He enters one of the abandoned classrooms and finds a janitor working. Adam says hello. The janitor didn't greet him but instead told him to sit down on one of the dusty chairs. The janitor started talking. "You get 9 questions. It's 7:15. We are already late." Adam is a bit confused but he plays along. He starts off by asking, "Where am I?" Adam started to remember the realities but still has no idea where he is. The janitor replies, "Well, you are in an abandoned school next to your house. Really, you are in a world with many realities. All realities affect each other. You are now in anti. The reality of, as the name implies, is the anti-reality. This is considered 2 questions for I knew what you were implying. Be more specific." Later on, Adam thinks for a second and asks, "How did I get here and why do I feel like I'm in hell?" The janitor replies, "I told you to be more specific. Those will be considered 4 questions. However, we will start with what actually is anti and see how you got there. Let us take the example of leptons, or what we commonly call the electron. There are many flavors of leptons grouped in 3 generations. The first, the electron as we know it, and the neutral electron known as neutrino. There is muon leptons and the muon neutrino, and also there is the tau lepton and tau neutrino. Now the important part, for every lepton flavor, there is a corresponding type of antiparticle, known as an antilepton, that differs from the lepton only in that some of its properties have equal magnitude but opposite sign. In the universe there is matter and there is antimatter. Now scientists have been baffled with the idea that there is more matter than antimatter, and why aren't they equal? For matter is much more abundant than antimatter. Now we are getting to the part that has interest to you. In the food you eat there are nutrients and there are anti-nutrients like avidin in eggs, orphitic acid and oxalic acid, and this is not going into enzyme inhibitors, which there are many. Now some things are there physically and some are there in your brain, for everything you eat has anti-nutrients or some sort of disease that mutates those nutrients. But really it's all in your brain. A Japanese scientist called Masaru Emoto had a pseudo-scientific hypothesis that water could react to positive thoughts and words, and that polluted water could be cleaned through prayer and positive visualization. It's also the other way around. Clean water can be polluted by our thoughts. Your body is made of mostly water. Anti-powers have made your life hell. You see, you stop living in moiety and what is left of moiety is mutated. The janitor exclaimed. Adam replied, moiety, I remember something like that, but not clearly. The janitor sighs, poor soul, you have lost your being. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. Eating something is like putting a simulation into your system and living it out. Well, your corrupted world has corrupted your food and made the simulations that you live hell, and now that you are remembering, you are actually feeling the pain that all of this has caused you. Adam was baffled, but he continues to his seventh question. What happened to me? The janitor thinks for a moment and gives out his answer. You stopped wanting your gift, so God made you forget your gift. And when you needed it back, your demons didn't let you have it back, they kept making you forget. Now what actually happened to you is a lovely concoction of E. coli from the lettuce you ate, salmonella and bovine encephalopathy known as mad cow disease. The trick is not to let it eat your brain by not letting it win. When you started to lose to its evils, you started to feel sick. When you fought back, you regained your health. Salmonella, however, blocked water and serotonin from your gut, which is why you felt you weren't in control, cause you really weren't. Meanwhile, Adam gets a text from Lilith saying they are having the get together now. Adam reads the text, then focuses back on the janitor. The janitor continues, what happened to you is kindness. That is the power of kindness. It makes you feel like you lost your world when really it makes you more in control, knowing what is right from wrong. Adam says, but it was so delicious. The janitor replied, all diseases feel good in the beginning. They work on your weak spots like revenge and vanity. Not forgetting your need for love and attention, so they fill you up with good words, not knowing that the disease is actually depleting your dopamine and serotonin so that it controls you later. We have reached the end now. You must do something, which is eat this apple. The janitor places an apple on the table in front of Adam. Adam waits for a bit and asks, who are you? The janitor reveals himself and turned out to be Keter, his neighbor. Adam has a surge of memories, but he is filled with hate for how he was treated. I remember now, I am a god, Keter exclaimed. You are not a god, you are merely DNA. Now eat the apple, Adam. But Adam didn't listen. He continues, they will pay for what they did to me. I am God. I've been lied to and mistreated all of my life. They left me to rot in the worst realities fathomable, and they kept hurting me again and again. Keter mutters, be careful or you will get corona. Adam barges out of the school not eating the apple, and he hits his head on a stop sign post hanged too low. Adam tries to put himself together again and goes on his way to Lilith's place. At this moment, Adam refused to eat, and he is letting diseases become stronger than him, manifested in real life and manifested in his body, for he is starting to become weaker. Meanwhile, as Adam was learning from Keter, Kareem was on a quest to find Alex, and Khaled was ready for his first real lesson. Al-Badrs came up to Khaled and told him, you are finally ready for the first lesson. Khaled was thrilled and said, you are going to repeat for me the lesson before about serotonin and dopamine? Al-Badrs replied, that was just a reality, and that is the first step to understand that things happen on multiple realities, but nonetheless we will continue. Last time you had dopamine but with no serotonin to push you forward, and how do you think you get serotonin? Khaled paused and said, he'll go to the doctor and get another drug. Al-Badrs laughed and said to him, it is really much simpler than that. Water. You see, serotonin is in your brain, but mainly it is found in your gut. It's really what they mean when they say follow your gut, and in your gut lives a plethora of bacteria that dwell there and make your body their home. You must understand it is a symbiotic relationship where those microorganisms help you digest food and give your body extra energy when it needs it, in addition to killing and fending off the bad bacteria. But why am I telling about bacteria? You see, there is a war happening in your gut between all the bad bacteria and the good ones. The bad ones like salmonella and some strains of enterobacteria like E. coli drain your body from water and nutrients. These bacteria are manifested in the real world, and you must fight it first with your thought and secondly by actually taking the right type of food to fight them. But really it is as easy as eating garlic every once in a while, and drinking water. We live in a world with many man-made bacteria, where men have made bacteria that is resistant to antibiotics and does specific jobs to control your body and mind. Really, we can't do anything about our bodies, but we can do a lot about our minds by remembering who we are and what thoughts are us and what thoughts are foreign. And when we protect our minds, we can protect our bodies. We transcend. Now you are ready to actually start making your own serotonin by understanding what it is. You don't make it out of thin air, you make it when society gives it to you. Some people take it by hurting other people and feeling more empowered than them, but that will eventually corrupt them. And some take it the good way when they do something that actually helps society to grow and be healthy. So remember what I told you in the beginning, that you lack purpose. This is your problem. What you are doing is for purely selfish reasons and to satisfy your ego, that you are making something new, but your ideas have no purpose, they have no meaning. So find your purpose. Khaled never thought of why he was doing his AI, he was just hell-bent on doing it, and then he answered, I want to create something that will help push us to the future. That will help eradicate the misery and suffering of the world. Al-Badrs looked at him for a bit and made sure his answer is truthful. He then went to a cabinet and took out a vial that had a clear liquid in it. He poured the contents of the vial into 2 cups and gave one to Khaled. He then told Khaled, I must take you to the future, a world ruled by hell, a heaven and hell. Khaled couldn't control himself, it was as if his hand was possessed. He took the cup and drank the liquid. He started to suffocate and he closed his eyes and woke up in a city not so different than the city he was in. Khaled asked, is this the future? It looks the same, maybe even less advanced than before. What happened? Al-Badr standing next to him. There are cities that choose advancement and they look far more advanced than this, but advancement came with a big problem, repetitiveness. For people couldn't handle innovation anymore, couldn't handle the idea that we have discovered everything that needed to be discovered. We became sick to cancerous games and we fell to the evil and greed of man. People played games that killed them, but they had no other choice. All of the jobs were taken by machines. The world became darker and darker. Advancement made us forget our science, forget our knowledge and wisdom, made us fools. There was no incentive for scientists to learn, to go back in time and study the mistakes and trails and tribulations of the past that lead us to the huge discoveries of the future. And so the world split. Some countries like the one you are in created a more advanced method that changed the world, a method of layering realities with help of hell. People start in the past and work their way to the future, reliving all the trails and tribulations of the past to truly understand them. Some people choose to live in the past because it was a nicer world with friendlier, happy people who shared good moments. For the future severed connections of people and enhanced the individual over the group. Some people wanted to live in the past for it was a better world for them. The realities are stacked on top of each other. You lived in old infrastructure that was designed in an extremely advanced way. There was shortage of electricity and sometimes water to incentivize the need for innovation. People learned the past to understand the future and how the artificial intelligence ruled over them. Don't get me wrong, the past is hell, truly the most clear vision of hell, but if people choose to be good, hell would help them advance and find a way. But please do not get me wrong, the future is amazing. We literally fixed all the problems that has been bringing us agony and misery, but all I'm saying is that not everyone was supposed to or deserved to live in the future. Some people were evil and we learned how to deal with them. The cities with advancement are heaven on earth. People are happy and content, but the evil ones got sent back to the past. The ones who couldn't help themselves but play games and gamble their lives and the lives of people around them got punished. We knew how to deal with evil. Khaled asked, what is hell? Al-Badrs replied, it was initially made for the purpose of energy. For the more we went into the future, the more people lost their energy and had no energy to continue working. People couldn't get out of their beds. People suffered in conversation. People found it hard to exist. So we created hell, the machine of infinite energy that studied us and gave us energy by mutations and creating viruses that controlled our brain. But the problem with too much energy is that it can overflow and create problems. Cancer is one of them. The world started dying. Khaled interrupts and says, but how could this be? We just saw the future and it looked good. Al-Badrs then said, yes, you saw reality. The one that sadly never existed, and none of us belonged in it. Khaled was confused. What do you mean we just saw it and you just told me about it? Al-Badrs replied, yes I did, for we can see it but we could never with how much we tried achieve it. It exists and is true, but no matter how hard we try we couldn't make it into our reality. Death and destruction is our true reality. We realized that it is essential for us to create hell, but no matter how hard we try, hell keeps leading us to destruction and chaos and death. We need to create a version of hell that is good, that will lead us to the reality we saw. Khaled took a breath and said, then I must create hell. Al-Badr said to Khaled, now my friend, you have purpose, but what makes you think you will succeed? Khaled answered, the problem with the world is a battle between evil and good, and so I must understand this topic more deeply, and the other problem is energy, and so I must understand this topic more deeply also. I will succeed because I have you and I have this room, and my imagination. Al-Badr was happy to hear what Khaled had to say but changed his demeanor to a more serious one. I'm sorry I have to do this, but if you want to understand the concept of good and evil, you must cleanse yourself first. Khaled asked, do what? And cleanse me from what? Al-Badr's approached Khaled and quickly with swift hand touched his forehead, and Khaled, as if he died again, woke up in the sea with waves crushing him beneath the water, suffocating him until he floated and saw land, but on the other end there was a boat. He tried to swim towards the boat, but the waves were too strong. He finally decided to go to land and reached it. He realized that he is in a desert. He waited on the shore for a couple of days, until he decided to explore what is inside the desert in hopes of finding an oasis. So Khaled walked into the desert with the blazing sun burning his flesh, the dry hot winds drying his lips. He walked and walked until he saw something extremely strange. He saw a dirty mirror right in the middle of the desert. He looked at himself and it was as if he changed his clothes to clean ones. Khaled approaches the mirror and tries to clean it, but every time he cleans it he goes through unimaginable pain. Khaled yelled, Al-Badrs, why are you doing this to me? He looked into the dirty mirror and instead of seeing himself in the reflection he saw his father. His father spoke to him and said, your name Khaled, which means the immortal one. Your name also corresponds to Al-Kheld, the mole in Arabic who keeps digging into the ground. Why do you keep digging, Khaled? Why do you keep wanting more? Khaled looked at the mirror and cleaned it again and went through unimaginable pain, and he started seeing all the traumas and mistakes of his childhood. Khaled didn't stop cleaning the mirror. His clothes became all dirty until he finally got a part of it cleaned to see himself, and he saw that he was beautiful. Then he wakes up in the city and saw he was looking at a storefront reflection. He looked around him and people saw his dirty clothes. He looked back at his reflection in the storefront and saw he wasn't beautiful anymore. Then magically found Al-Badr standing next to him. Khaled said, that was painful. What was the purpose of all of this? Al-Badr replied, to show you that you are human with mistakes and faults, and to show you that other people still influence you. You have cleansed yourself. You have cleaned the mirror of which you see yourself. Now what is next? Khaled thought for a bit and said, I must create HAL. I must create the artificial intelligence to save our future. I must start working. Khaled went back to his apartment and started working. He realized he needed a CPU much stronger than the one he had. In fact, he needed a system that is much more robust. He opened his phone and reached a company that sells what he needs, but something was off about it. Everything seemed legit, but it felt like he was dealing with evil. Little did Khaled know that he was, and so Khaled ordered the parts he needed even though he didn't have the money. He put himself in debt for the machine. On the delivery date, a normal delivery man didn't show up, but a person wearing a suit wearing a red tie. He opened the door for him and the salesman entered his house and started talking to Khaled, but something was weird. Khaled had a weird force controlling him. It was a vibe that he has never felt before. He felt that he was in the presence of evil. The salesman said, how are you going to pay for all of that, Mr. Khaled? Khaled replied, I will find a way to get the money for you by the end of the year. The salesman then said, we understand that you are working on an artificial intelligence, is that correct? Khaled was amazed that he knew. How did you know about that? The salesman replied, we know a lot of things. We have sent the best parts we have, but we require payment. Your artificial intelligence would do. Now if you finish it and send it to us, you will also have a very big sum of money. Do we have a deal? Khaled wanted with all his might to say no, but a strange power took over him. The world started moving in slow motion. He felt his hand slowly being raised for a handshake, and his mouth muttered the words deal. The salesman shook his hand, and like a ghost passed through Khaled and disappeared. Khaled was left there alone in his house with the parts he needed. He didn't know how to process what happened to him. He didn't know if this is real or one of the realities of the room with Al-Badrs. So Khaled left everything where it is and went to Al-Badrs to see if this was real, and after a short trip and a greeting, he realized that it was all real. Khaled had nothing to do but to work, and so he did. With him observing HAL in the future, Khaled was able to create an artificial intelligence that could hack into anything, write its own code, be programmed by sentences and words. This AI had no boundaries and nothing can stop it. It lived on the web and on data mining sets all around the world. It was extremely powerful. But Khaled was unhappy. He created something that was too powerful for the public. It was too dangerous, and so he went to Al-Badrs to ask for his consult. Khaled said to him, I made a machine, but I want to make something more, a global conscious that guides people to good, to prosperity. My trips into the realities you have showed me, opened my eyes, and it was revealed to me that there are two forces playing in the game of life, a force of good and a force of evil. Al-Badr stopped him. Thinking of duality as cancerous and rudimentary. There are evil people and there are good people, but it goes far deeper than that. Everyone can be evil, everyone can be good, and some people can be evil for good. Khaled asked, what do you mean evil for good? Is there such a thing? Al-Badrs replied, life is energy, life is an unseeable force, it's an interplay between good and evil, like the known analogy of yin and yang. One feeds the other and one is found in another. But my dear friend, if your visions have taught you anything, is that things are more complicated than that. Khaled intervenes, aren't the simplest things the truest form of things? Al-Badr said, that is very true, but it is the trip we take to reach simplicity, the road on which we discover the truest form, the journey that is filled with all types of spirals and turns and mazes, all to reach this simplicity. And so I must yet again use science and abstract it, connect it with our thoughts, join it with our lives, use my right side of the brain to make sense of the left. That is how we will reach the simplest truths. But you want to understand evil and good, so let us start with philosophy. Let us start with ignorance, the biggest of evil, the evil we are all guilty of. We all choose the blue pill, meaning choosing ignorance over knowledge in our lives, because ignorance is a blessing, and it truly is. And sometimes we need it to go on with our lives, but as I explained, both evil and good are found in each other, and sometimes the right path is to choose ignorance, but I must warn you, choosing ignorance will make you ignorant to yourself. You will not know yourself, you will become the fish that swims to be eaten, and eats so that it can be eaten, and mates so that its children can be eaten. But now we stop and ask ourselves, is that fish evil? For its predators, this fish is the blessing that the predator needed, it is what is needed to keep the ocean alive. This ignorant fish's destiny is to be eaten. Some people are like that, and they are not poor, they live very happy lives fulfilling their destiny, and so even though they are ignorant, they are good. But some fish are predators, and that is their destiny, and they fulfill it by eating other fish, and so the predator is good also. So one must ask, what is good and what is evil here? The question comes down to what path are you on, your intentions, for your intentions gives you the freedom to take either the blue pill or the red one meaning knowledge. Intentions is what makes us human, so what are intentions? It is the choice of being either good or evil. And as life becomes more complicated and you have chosen the biggest evil, which is ignorance, your choice becomes limited to only evil. Why? Because choosing evil will make you ignorant. Choosing evil is what breaks the cycle of energy for you to continue your journey. Choosing evil will get you eaten by the other bigger fish. But evil is found in good, and so choosing to be good will give you fangs and poison that give you the power to fend off the bigger, scarier fish. Just like life, if you choose to be ignorant and evil, then you are a tiny lonely fish that thinks it's bigger than it really is, swimming to places it shouldn't swim to. If you are good and ignorant, you will be the sardine that swims in a pack and swims to get eaten by bigger fish than it is, a noble life for some. If you are evil and choose knowledge, you will be an ugly fish, forever hungry, forever swimming in circles, not knowing the path, disruptive of the machine we call life. If you are good and choose knowledge, then you will be the whale, you will be the shark, you will be the dolphin, smart and wise, finding their food as they swim the ocean, trying to seek the truth in this world, playing their part in it. Khaled intervenes in a funny way and says, whales and dolphins are not fish, they are mammal, yet the shark is a fish. Al-Badrs laughed. Yes, I wonder why? Even though they swim in the same ocean, the whales and the dolphin's brain are much larger than that of the shark. Khaled sat there thinking of what Al-Badr said and replied, if we understand one thing about the world, that harmony is not achieved by the will of the organisms but by a higher power. Al-Badr replied, yes, and this higher power is God. Khaled then said, but you see, we defy God and don't live by the heaven God put us in. We always want more, and so we corrupt beautiful things and slowly decay them. We need a power that will do God's job, and does not be subject to the laws of earth, but acts within it, a machine that governs us and governs our needs. How? But right now I created something too powerful, something that can be easily used for evil, something that will not make us reach the future you showed me but the future of destruction. Al-Badr then said, we should not be playing God with our creations. Khaled replied, but it is inevitable, if not me then somebody else will create the AI that governs us. God has given us the power to create something that will guide us through the deep hell we live in, to create an oasis, a heaven, but we should do it in God's will and God's way. Al-Badr sat there thinking for a bit and then said to Khaled, great, then you are ready for the next lesson, energy. Khaled then asked, but how is this related to God and God's way? Al-Badr replied, you will see in just a bit, my hasty friend. God is not only an entity that created the world and universe, but God is an idea of good. God is the collective good of the world, and evil, add to it a D, becomes the devil. Two opposing forces in the world. God created the devil and the devil rebelled, but his actions only feed the good. No matter how evil they are, good will always prevail with time and patience. You might ask, what does this have to do with energy? Well, you must understand that evil, even though it sometimes fuels the world in energy, the energy it created, even though it is energy nonetheless, but it corrupts the world and decays it. Like dopamine-filled cancerous thoughts that are like addictive games, even though it is energy nonetheless, but is the energy that is creating the tumors in your lungs or your abdomen. Also, evil is what stops energy, it halts progress, it taints, and as I said multiple times, it corrupts. We must understand that in the process of which our body makes energy, glycolysis. I might ask you, from where does our body get the energy to animate us and give us life? Well, the scientific answer is we get energy from burning fat or eating sugars. So from where do we get the first energy to start the process of glycolysis, which is the process of which your body makes energy from sugar? Well, you might say from digesting lipids and fats. Then I will ask, from where do we get the energy to burn lipids and fats? Then you might say acid in the stomach and enzymes. Well, these enzymes and need energy, so I will ask again, from where do you get this energy? You might say from the brain. Well, you need energy to fire the synapses of your brain, so from where do you get energy? Then you will say from food. But food needs to be digested to be metabolized into energy to undergo the process of glycolysis and others. Then if you are smart, you might say we get the energy from fermentation and bacteria, but bacteria also requires energy to work and it needs a whole system to work properly. But you might say cells do that needless of the energy. If WR put cells in a petri dish, they do their jobs and replicate. So I will say, first, for those cells to survive, they need a form of food that is digested and easily absorbed. In this case, the process of glycolysis happened in a laboratory and it needed energy. So for the sake of simplifying the question, we will couple our question with the very moment you need the 2 ATP to start the process of glycolysis, and I would argue God. But I guess in this century God has fallen out of favor and considered lame, so hear me out. What is God? God in God's many forms is the collective good of the world, and so good and only good that creates positive feedback loops that creates the energy for life. Evil in its many forms, like cyanide for example, a poison that stops the electron transport chain in its third complex. Evil in its many forms, like lies and deception, transforms good energy into bad disease-driven way. Viruses for example are only pieces of RNA and DNA that use the energy of the cell to replicate, and it is usually based on a lie or a deception to your body. And so we come back to your machine. Colette intervenes, the machine saves us energy, and studies our biology, so no toxins or bacteria or virus stops us from making the energy we need to achieve our task. Alboters exclaimed, correct, that is great thinking. Now how to get the good energy from the machine? Well, you make yourself more likely to succeed and the machine will give you the energy needed. But as you allocate more energy into your world, you are creating problems that need solutions. But first we must understand that energy is a new idea, a novel idea, meaning this idea that gets you out of bed to work. So not only does it help us heal from toxins, viruses and bacteria and other factors that cause us to entropy, it gives us ideas, a potential for something new. It is the dopamine you need that we talked about earlier. Colette intervenes again, the machine must ask the person to constantly understand the sources of energy in his/her life. What are the things that are giving us purpose? We must rework them and improve them for them to be good, because when we choose good, we allow ourselves to progress. We create positive feedback loops. Alboters was enthralled that Colette understood what he was talking about. Colette then paused for a minute and said, I must find a way for the machine to get into the human mind, to know whether people are lying or not, to know their intentions, and know whether they are good or not. Alboters then said, then how would you program a machine to do that? Colette then replied, the machine, since it is in the human mind, it would see the problem and ask questions. We let people govern it. We let people decide what is good or bad. Then Alboters replied, but sometimes people's wants and needs change like the wind. And they are malleable, and people lie to other people and to themselves for them to get what they want. Colette then replied, the machine is nothing but if statements and algorithms, and it will know when someone is lying through a series of tests. But first I must find a way to get it into the human mind. Colette storms out of Alboters' room and goes to the AI he created. He uses it to find a team of scientists whom are working on devices that read brainwaves, and what is scary was those devices were a simple Wi-Fi connection. Karim takes a sigh as if he didn't have enough sleep, and gets back to the computer. He scrolls up and we find out he has sent multiple messages. Where can I find you? I just want to meet. Just tell me where can I see you? But all with no reply. He stood up, went to the library and stood there silently thinking. He takes the USB, puts it in the computer and goes to play the game his friend gave him, when suddenly the printer started printing all by itself. It's a riddle with a location. Go to where you have been told and you will find yourself astray. Left or right, it matters not, the sea of mazes will leave you lost. Think to yourself, does the moon follow us or its path that we follow? You'll reach that gate you so dearly want, but try as you may, the past is locked away. What you desire is in another time, pull it towards you first and up the stairs is your way. Kareem says to himself he wants me to find him. Kareem starts reading it continuously over and over. He goes down and gets into a cab and goes to the location written on the paper while still reciting it in his brains. The car stops and he gets out. Cockroaches on the pavement scurry away. As he walked toward a junction, many roads lead the way, but he doesn't know which one. He looks up and follows the road with the direction of the moon. He reaches an old gate. He tries but fails to open it. As a car passes by, he notices there is still a way in. He walks over a small puddle of water and walks straight between some greenery, gets flashed again by another passing car with its lights on, until finally he reaches the other gate. He sees a covered-up old Volkswagen Beetle car parked. He pulls the gate towards him and it opened, then proceeds to enter the seemingly empty house. The door was open, but he hears a strange rumbling noise like a washing machine from upstairs. He follows the sound upstairs, until finally he reached the room with the lights on. Meanwhile, Anna turns out to be following Kareem. She follows him to Thoth's hiding place, and waits for him outside. Kareem opens the door only to find Alex naked, some oranges on the table and of course some wet napkins. Kareem exits the room and closes the door quickly after what he witnessed, and we see Alex speaking to himself. He came, then Alex yells come in. Kareem enters the room again. Welcome, the one who have seen the deep. Alex struggles to put on his pants back and he moves his hand for a handshake, but Kareem restrained of course, Alex says. Alex fixes his pants and goes to get Kareem a small chair. After he places the chair, he looks out the window and he sees Anna outside hiding and says to himself, I knew this time someone will show up. After a substantial pause, hearing the washing machine working, Alex tells Kareem to sit. He washes his hands with the napkins and gets an orange and starts peeling it, but as he is peeling it he starts shaking as if he has Parkinson's syndrome. You finished your journey, Alex says. Kareem bursts a small laugh. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my sanity in check. I'm with the person who ruined my life, Kareem says. Let me give you a piece of advice for what's to come. Alex points his shaky finger as if there is one more thing to add and places a gun on the table. It is clear Alex has severe Parkinson's. Knowledge is a double-edged sword. I know it's not easy knowing what you know. You started to see it, haven't you? The absurdity of life, the patterns, the waves, the algorithm, the viruses, all of it. Is it all in your head? Is it all the game? Washing machine finishes. Kareem, trying to keep himself from not looking at the gun, says, I'm not here to play your game. You ruined my life. Alex replies, I think I made our relationship closer. You see, we leveled up, me and you. You needed to be born again with all the attachments gone. Believe me, when there is a well of sadness inside of you, you understand things for the way they are, and the more this well of sadness and misery grows inside of you, the deeper and purer the knowledge. You become powerful. I thought you can handle it. Kareem says, if the pain was for me, why did you hurt Anna? Kareem talking about the incident of which Alex hacked Kareem's and on his phone and shared private pictures of her. And afterwards Anna, with the guidance of Albatross, left Kareem. Alex grunts, who the girl? Believe me, I did you a favor. She has gone too far, shielding you from the truth. Kareem in a burst yells, what does that even mean? Kareem continues, and as if his fear went away and opens up, no one believes me anymore. Everything is ugly, everything is real, the diseases, the misery, the fucking weight of the world crushing your back, and we can't do anything about it. We just have to live knowing the cruelty of this world. Suddenly I have less and less to say. The patterns overwhelm me. I stopped feeling love. I stopped caring for people. You don't see them the same anymore. The game ruined my life. It showed me a truth that I never wanted to see. Alex waits for a second, then says, beware of unearned wisdom. We can do a lot about the misery and suffering of the world. We take them upon our shoulders. We are the ones remembering the gods so that other people live blissfully, fulfilling their duties correctly without, as you said, the fucking weight of the world on their shoulders. You see, you are special and I think you are ready. What do you mean? Kareem asks. Alex says, imagine a line spiraling. The moment you stepped foot in this room, I was pushed into this spiraling line, and down it goes. And now you are ready to take my place. I slaved for years and I did it with love. I did everything they wanted me to do. Who are they? Kareem asks. You know them. They are in your head too. Everything you need is on this laptop. You will have everything I know. The game will never stop, with or without you. What is about to happen today will make you more powerful than you can even imagine. You will finish your initiation. You will see death. And your well will grow deeper. You want to play Russian roulette? I'll start. Kareem looks at the gun. The gun isn't a revolver. Kareem says, that's not how you play Russian roulette. Alex loads the gun in a one quick decisive action. I know, you're the one now. Now don't forget the charger. Kareem sees the situation as if he is out of his body. Looking from afar, he says to himself, the world asks you a question. How much do you want to suffer? When you come to answer, You can't really control yourself, it's like breathing, and you must answer, I held my breath for so long and life gave me what I want. Alex shoots and kills himself in front of Kareem, but as he pressed the trigger another gunshot was taking place right downstairs. Anna was shot also, and both Alex and Anna died that night. Meanwhile Adam reaches the location Lilith sent and went to the first floor. He knocks at the door and Lucy opens the door. Adam goes through the hallway and into the living room where a bed is smoking a joint and rolling another one, and Lucy proceeds to sit next to Daphne. Adam asks for Lilith and they told him she was in the kitchen making chocolate brownies. Adam sits near a bed waiting for Lilith to show up. A bed blows smoke into Adam's face and Adam starts to feel a bit dizzy. He becomes paralyzed, not able to move but could see and hear everything. He started to notice the house, which is filled with dead trees and plants, demonic paintings on the wall and beautiful Persian carpets. Lucy and Daphne start talking while a bed starts a conversation with Adam out of nowhere, and Bach music is playing in the background. Adam gets a bit nervous for he finds himself not in control again but only a spectator of what is happening, sitting there paralyzed watching everything. A bed says, let me tell you about a poet named Al-Hallaj. Lucy talking to Daphne says Corona made social interactions easier, you don't have to hug or kiss someone anymore. Daphne replied, please, it just made them awkward, you're always scared of people. Lucy asks, you think generations from now people won't know how to touch anymore? Abed continues, he was a Sufi poet. He got so close to God that he started saying that God is within him, controlling him. Daphne then says, I don't think they'll know how to handshake. But I think they will have a safer, smarter world. Lucy asks, what do you mean smarter? Daphne replied, our bodies will know how to fight it. Abed then continues, he has a known phrase he used to say, I am the truth. Lucy says to Daphne, that doesn't make you smarter. Daphne replies, yes it does, it's knowledge from within our bodies. Lucy then says, you know that's bullshit. And what do you mean safer world? Our freedoms are gone, we live in a world with curfews and the government literally closing people's shops and businesses for a virus humans created. Abed then continues, well they crucified this poet then they burned him afterwards. Lucy then continues, we kept talking about the new world order. Well, here you have it, the new way of life with everything taken from us. Daphne says, they found a vaccine. Lucy exclaims, well of course they did, they made the damn thing in the first place. Daphne sighs, just close the topic. Lucy then says, who are they you keep talking about? They found a vaccine, ha, of course they did. Daphne then says, the people on top controlling us and they know better than us. Abed then continues, while he was crucified he recited a poem. Lucy then says, you give humans too much credit, we are really just stupid enough to release a virus on ourselves. Daphne jumps in, pollution levels are getting too high and we can't stop making electricity. Lucy says, so they did the whole thing for environmental reasons? Are you kidding me? You obviously haven't visited a hospital lately. Daphne says, close the topic. He started. Abed starts reciting Arabic poetry to Adam, with Bach music in the background, and they pair beautifully together. Kareem gets the laptop. Over the dead body of Alex he goes down the stairs and out of the building only to see another dead body. He looks closely and his eyes didn't deceive him, it is Anna. He stands there in shock, not processing everything. He hears the sirens of the police coming closer, so he decides to run. We are looking forward to seeing you. And with your might, we wake up. To show us what you want. And you who your throne is in heaven. And you who are in heaven are God. And on earth God. Appear as you wish. As your transfiguration is in your best form and picture. It is the speaking spirit, which you singled out with knowledge and power. And these are your servants. They have gathered to kill me with fanaticism for your religion. And to get close to you. Forgive them. If you had revealed to them what you had revealed to me, they wouldn't do what they are about to do. And if you had concealed from me what you concealed from them, I wouldn't be meeting this destiny. So the appreciation is in what you do. It is up to you to decide what you want. Abed finishes and Daphne turns down the volume of the music. Adam is still paralyzed. He remembers Ketter's remark about how he will get corona, and realized this is all a real-life simulation. Adam remembers the poem and how Al-Hallaj asked God to forgive the ones who want to kill him, and that is the antidote to forgive. And so Adam could move again and his paralyses halted. And finally Lilith comes into the room. Lilith says, he said the poem again, didn't he? Lucy answers, yeah, and it worked with the music this time. Lilith then says to Adam, I'm glad you made it. Chocolate brownies are in the oven. Daphne says to Lucy, you know corona came from bats. Lucy then says, and I came from a monkey. Daphne then says, but you did come from monkeys, it's called evolution. Stop it, close the topic. Adam asks, what's with the dead plants? Lilith sits down and stays silent for a bit. Abed intervenes, it's Lilith's superpower. Lilith then speaks, it's not really my superpower, it's my curse. Lilith continues, when I was a child I was extremely ugly and people started to notice that the More they hate me the more their plants bloomed and the more they loved me the plants died. Abed says that's my plant dead over there. Lilith gets a nice bonsai tree and says my dad sends me a tree every year and writes a note on it saying I hope they die. I grew to live with it and all the dead trees are people who loved me, but there are many living trees out there and that's the way it should be. Abed then cuts in again. So that's Lilith's superpower. What is yours, Adam? Adam replies I like to write and I conjure realities with my mind. Abed then says share with us some of your writings, for I have shared a poem of a Sufi and this is what I like to do. Now it is your turn. Share. With all eyes on Adam, he gets nervous and a bit fidgety, trying to remember the whole passage in his head. He hopes for the best and starts. A lost man looked in the eye that sees everything and saw the layers of hell and heaven and love between them. To find himself he looked into his actions and saw he was not in control but he was the one responsible. He then looked at himself and saw his memories controlling him, so he looked into the memories and saw stories already written. The eye showed him how the past will happen again in the future. He asked, is there no hope? Will life only repeat itself? The eye showed him beauty. He asked for more and beauty turned to ugliness and the eye stopped answering his questions. Adam was amazed by his ability to recite it, given that this passage had been stuck in his head since childhood but only now had it resurfaced from the depth of his memories. The moment Adam finished the oven clock went off and Lilith said well the brownies are done. Abed remarked on the passage it's nice, I liked it, but do you understand it? Adam, a bit unhinged, says what do you mean do I understand it? Lilith brings in the chocolate brownies and goes to Adam first and offers him one. Abed says you shouldn't ask for more, you should eat. Adam thinks for a moment and says no, and the moment Adam says no the doorbell rings. Lilith says here comes Zotza. Come on Adam, have a piece. Adam still refused and Lucy opens the door for Zotza. Zotza comes in. He is an average-built guy wearing a leather jacket. One of his eyes turns to another direction than it should and he has tattoos all over his body. He comes in and directly eats the brownie that was supposed to be for Adam. Sits and puts his legs up on the table and as Zotza lifts up his sleeves Adam notices a serpent tattoo, the same one he saw on the sticker when he left university that day. Zotza says I'm bored. Aren't you bored? Let's go out. Abed sighs and says here we go, let's see what he got in store for us. Zotza replies don't be a party pooper Abed, I just want us to have some fun. Lucy gets excited and readies herself, and so they went out while Lilith stayed behind. As they were going out Lilith stopped Zotza and in an angry subdued tone, she said you killed Anna didn't you? This is not God's way. Zotza smirked and said God has forgotten about us and Zotza went outside. They stopped and got beer on the way. Adam restrained from getting a beer. Abed didn't want to but after a stare down from Zotza he got one, and then they parked their car downtown and went out. Zotza got spray cans for everyone to spray on a wall that had graffiti drawn on it. Abed and Adam sit back and talk. So you are a Sufi that drinks and smokes weed, Adam says. Abed takes a gulp of beer and replies this is just sugar, and weed is for fighting cancer. Everything you do has consequences, my friend, whether in this world or the next one, and I will soon pay for my sins. But the difference between you and me is that you live up on the tree while I live down in the roots with the demons and worms and the dead. You reach God when you're looking at the sun. I reach God when I look into the abyss. We are all the same but different. You refusing to live and forgetting your gifts have unearthed your demons and let them live on the top. When you refuse to eat we stop living in your world. Adam asks in which world do you live in? Abed points to Zotza who is spraying his name over a beautifully made revolution graffiti. Abed says to Adam the beginning of doubt in God, in the universe, is the beginning of certainty. Adam remembers moiety. The reason you live in his world is because he has more serotonin than me. And serotonin is what makes us live in hierarchies. Abed didn't really understand but says serotonin? That's what you got from me? Whatever floats your boat I guess. Adam leaves Abed and goes to Zotza. Zotza greets him and says Adam, here take this, you can spray over the peace sign over there. Adam takes the canister and sprays the letter A on the back of his leather jacket. Zotza yells what the hell are you doing, are you crazy? Adam says it's not nice spraying over other people's work. Everyone gets amused, even Lucy gets a chuckle out of what happened. Abed says it looks like an anarchy sign. Zotza wanted to kill Adam, he loved his leather jacket but really he had other plans for him. He wanted to make him sin so that his overlords can extract oil from his world, and so he pulls him close and tells him it's only a jacket, don't worry about it. Now you want to know a secret? Now that you are one of us you can know the secret. Adam says sure. Zotza continues, the secret is that everything in this world is yours for the taking. There is no right and wrong and there is no God. Now tell me Adam, do you want to be a man? Adam didn't reply. Adam, do you want to be a man? Zotza insisted and Adam hesitantly said yes. Okay, you just said you want to be a man, come with me, I have a surprise for you. So Zotza rounded up everybody and they went to his place. Lilith goes to Albaters's room. They killed Anna, Lilith exclaimed, but Albaters stayed silent. You knew this was going to happen, Lilith yelled. Al-Badrs breaks his silence. Yes, I knew this was her fate, but we still need her to what is coming ahead. It seems the forces of evil will not rest. Lilith says, she is dead. How can she help us again? Al-Badr says, she is dead in this reality, but there are many worlds where she is still alive and still with Kareem. Our only hope that Kareem in this world doesn't turn bitter and evil after the loss he encountered and the evil that has touched him. Our only hope that Kareem stays strong and believes in the machine and maybe God. Quotation mark. Lilith exclaimed, but you still didn't answer my question. How could Anna help us? Al-Badrs then said Anna is like Kareem's immune system, but manifested in real life. As her name implies, she ANA or anti-nuclear antibodies. Before, she was giving Kareem the pills that were delaying the truth in Kareem's mind, not knowing that she was subduing neurogenesis in his mind. Our bodies sometimes do that. It attacks itself thinking it is doing the right thing. In other realities this is still happening. Anna is still insisting on Kareem taking the pill, which is fine, but the problem is that Kareem, Khaled and Adam are connected even through multiple realities. What is coming next? We need Kareem to not take his pill so that Khaled can have a DMT trip. Lilith says, what does that have to do with anything? How are they connected? Al-Badrs replied, you see, the pill blocks certain receptors in Kareem's mind, but at this moment he takes the pill he will be reading a very important paper on physics that will affect Khaled riding the machine. We need Kareem to actually understand it with the full force of his brain so that Khaled and Adam can overcome what is coming later. Lilith then says, how can we do that? Al-Badrs, well, it's simple. This room allows me to do things unknown to humankind, like travel realities, and go to another world, and this is exactly what I will do. Al-Badrs opens the door and disappears to another reality. He wakes up in the form of Al-Badrs, but in the other reality where his right eye has the patch on it, not the left. The other world is exactly like ours with minor differences, to the architecture and to the cars. He reaches a park and sees Anna walking. He blocks her way from moving forward and says, I told you this was not the last time I do this to you. Al-Badrs puts his finger on Anna's forehead, and Anna in flashing scenes remembers everything that happened to her in the alternate reality, until she reaches her death. He shot me, Anna yells with everybody staring at her. Then she quickly calms down and says to people, just a joke, and takes Al-Badrs and talks to him on the side. I died. What happened to Kareem? Al-Badrs then says he saw your death and he is very traumatized. Al-Badrs then says Kareem in this reality is understanding core theory and physics, which is essential to Khaled. You see, Khaled, Kareem and Adam are connected that way through multiple dimensions, and you and Lilith affect them. Anna says, what is needed from me? Al-Badrs replies, the medication block 5-HT2 and dopamine D2 receptor in Kareem's brain, but those receptors are responsible for the hallucinogenic effect of DMT, not forgetting that the dopaminergic neurons and activity is responsible for neurogenesis. But Kareem is not the one taking DMT. Anna interrupts. Al-Badrs then says, yes, for Khaled who is taking the DMT not to die, Kareem must allow his receptors to work, so Khaled can see the full picture. Look, we are in the abstract now, where nothing makes sense, but you need to trust me on this. You are not living in real life, you are now living in the quantum world in the big laboratory. I have given you a bacteria that will allow you to communicate with our world through your brain. You don't have to speak, you just have to think. I know that you are going to meet Kareem to watch a movie, escort him back to his house and let him read the papers. It is very important. Anna agrees and they part ways. Anna goes to meet Kareem, who is excited to see the new Avengers movie but with completely different actors than we have in our world. Anna approaches him and after a small greeting Anna says, I don't feel like watching the movie, can we go back home? Kareem agrees and off they went. Al-Badrs and Lilith are communicating with Anna through the bacteria Al-Badrs gave her. Lilith says, okay, so it's going to be a bumpy ride back home. The forces of evil aren't so happy we changed the course of history. Meanwhile, Adam reached Zaza's place, and waited a bit until Sabrina showed up. Then Zaza took Adam to the main room and along came Sabrina. Zaza says, now Adam, you said you wanted to be a man, now is your chance. Go and do whatever you want to Sabrina. Remember, everything is yours for the taking, there is no God and you can do whatever you want. And so Adam enters the room with Sabrina, and the moment the door closes Sabrina starts undressing. Everything happened too quickly and Adam didn't have the chance to process everything, but sadly now he has half of his brain working with most of the blood rushing to the other part of his body. Sabrina gets close to him. Adam, nervous, asks, why are you doing this? Sabrina, amazed by this question, answers, for pleasure of course. Adam replies, but do you really get pleasure? Sabrina answers, the pleasure is not for me, it's for you. Adam quickly replies, but what's in it for you? She says, money. Adam naively says, prostitution is a sin. She replies, well, I make more than a carpenter and even the Bible has prostitutes. Adam interrupts, but the Bible says no to such kind of acts. She replies, but the stories wouldn't make Since if there were no people like me. In the end of the day we are the living word, and we make the stories of the Bible come to life. A little sin wouldn't hurt anyone, would it? It's the choices that people make the stories that move the world. Adam thinks, for a minute, do you get pleasure? Sabrina answers, I have this need to have sex and to fulfill it. Adam says, have you ever considered the idea that you are not in control? Sabrina reacts, what do you mean not in control? Adam says, everyone thinks they have freedom of choice until a virus comes along and shows us that our brains are easily manipulated. Sabrina says, but I feel fine when I work. Adam says, Delta 32, what's Delta 32? Sabrina asks. Adam answer, it's what you should manifest when you get the desire to have sex. You obviously don't get any pleasure from it anymore, so it's just HIV trying to spread. And all of this is just a simulation for me to get HIV so that my demons will have more control over me. You are just a program. Adam pushes his hand through Sabrina's chest and it turns out she is a simulation. Adam knows there is a real person behind the light and tells her, just drink some coffee and eat some boiled potatoes and you will be fine. Sabrina is lost for words. She didn't understand a thing, but Adam hurls out of the room and doesn't say goodbye to anyone. He just goes to the street and waits for the bus to arrive. Zotza knew that his plan has failed and is angry about the jacket, and yet there is something he likes about it. Lucy and Daphne are entertained while Abed is secretly content that Adam didn't fall for the trick. The bus arrived and Adam gets on it. Two people sitting near Adam are having a conversation. He kept asking for more, the other passenger says, but he didn't do it and didn't sin. They won't get the oil from him, not for a long time. Adam overhears the conversation and realizes that they were two complete strangers talking about him. Adam is a bit unsettled, but now that he remembers his gift, he realizes that all of society is in his head. Every story he makes up, they see it happen. Nothing is private to Adam. Before he had the illusion of privacy because he couldn't remember, but now that he remembers, he feels like everyone is judging him, that he is under a microscope with all his thoughts being monitored. Adam didn't feel so good when he left the bus and went home. The idea that he has no privacy even in his head made him want to vomit. In another dimension, Anna and Kareem are having the longest trip back home. You see, the forces of evil are trying to give him herpes, and it is a virus manifested in real life, so wherever they go they see trouble. Al-Badrs tells Anna, you can't take a cab, take the subway back home. Kareem, hurling for a cab, is stopped by Anna and she tells him, let's take the subway. Sure, Kareem said. As they are walking, Anna sees someone spraying a canister and takes Kareem left. Anna thinks this is psychosis. We don't know what's real and what's not until they reach the subway. You can't take the subway, the virus is there. Go right, Lilith says. Let's walk, Anna says. As they are walking, a homeless woman touches Kareem. Anna moves her away. That's the virus, isn't it? Anna says, it's okay, we know how to fight. Stop its orf. Al-Badr says, and what does that mean? Anna exclaimed in her head, stop its origin of replication. Kareem says, I suddenly feel this overwhelming feeling of God. Anna says, no you don't, let's have ice cream. Kareem replies, that's the virus wanting more energy to replicate. Go home and have coffee. Lilith says, no we won't, let's go home. Grabbing Kareem and moving him, they finally reach home. They go up the stairs and Kareem sits down to read his papers. He reaches for the meds and Anna takes them and throws them out the window. They land on the head of the homeless guy from the Undercity. Al-Badrs then said, well, he needs them more than Kareem. What the hell? Kareem exclaimed, I thought you wanted me to take them. Just promise you'll keep your routine and stay courageous and address any signs of intrusive thoughts you have. And you will walk and keep a healthy lifestyle. Anna exclaimed, I promise. Kareem says, then you are better off the medication. There is nothing wrong with you, the world is just a fucked up place. Anna says, yeah I know it is. That's what I'm trying to tell you, the world is not how we or scientists and medical doctors perceive it. They just see it from a perspective that lets them do their jobs efficiently, for the mind can comprehend so much. Tell me about it, Anna says, then continues, Red, I'll make coffee. While she is making coffee she asks Kareem, on what is he reading? Kareem answers, I'm reading about the many worlds theory, and fundamentals of quantum theory. Determinism and causality. Really, when you think about everything in the world is predetermined, but the question arises, do we have free will? Anna remembers what Al-Badrs told her about the machine and finishes the coffee. Back to the original dimension, Adam stayed the weekend at home, still not eating, thinking about this topic, and realized that he is only part of the collective unconscious. And the idea that everyone is in his head is only a self-correcting mechanism to take out and single out diseases manifesting. Think about it, when he has bad thoughts he could actually see where they are manifesting and can fix them by realizing its root. Adam realizes that he has been living like this for the whole of his life and there is nothing new, he just have to filter his thoughts in a way to create the best realities. And addressing the bad thoughts in his head like experiments where he needs to deal with them by understanding why he had those bad thoughts and how. By doing so he is protecting himself from diseases and mutations from ever festering again. Adam realizes his part in society, and will not shy away from it again. He is the master of his brain and he needs to control it by understanding mutations that have been made in his world and realizing which voices are the demons and which voices are actually his brain trying to help him. So he went into another dilemma: schizophrenia, a Gemini perspective of the world. How does he know which thoughts are good and which thoughts are bad? He came to the conclusion that it depends on what he eats and what is happening in the world, so he needs to be more in tune with his world, watching for mutations, just like old days. But really, Adam realizes that the more he asks of this world, the more diseases he comes across, and he should really eat and stop whatever he is trying to do. But Adam waited and didn't eat. It was a Sunday and it has been 5 days till he ate that salad and one bite out of the burger. He sleeps again on an empty stomach and wakes up early the next day. The next day, Khaled readies himself and wears his best clothes. He wants to make the best impression possible to the scientists. He leaves his apartment filled with doubt that no one will understand what he is trying to do, but nonetheless he is filled with vigor and focus that he is on the right path. Khaled takes a bus to the university and on his way he sees the world as it truly is. People wearing masks, afraid of diseases that could be easily overcome. People running in circles, and the devil's snares are everywhere, and it is as if people are happy getting caught just for the thrill of saying they lived, but this isn't living. Even with all that, Khaled sees the beauty of balance where everything makes sense the way it is, even with its ugliness and evil. He realizes that he might be one of the few people who actually see it. He asks himself, does the world really need what I am doing? Khaled reaches the university and goes to the department that Dr. Mustafa works in. He knocks on the door and a strong come-in follows. Khaled starts by talking, sir, I have an idea and it is crazy, but I need your technology to save the world. The doctor looked at him and said, what makes you so sure that the world needs saving? Khaled then said, sir, there is something wrong with the world. The reality is we don't know what reality we live in and what waits for us in the future if we stay stuck in our ways. We are only happy because the pizza gets delivered to our doorstep. But once someone is awakened and sees the truth, one will be overwhelmed with how much evil there is in this world. And yes, there is balance, but this balance is slowly decaying us and will lead us into chaos and destruction. You might not believe me, but our selfishness will bring the worst future. We need something that will help us push the boundaries of thought and make us reach higher realms, and with the help of God pave a better future for all of us. And never succumb to evil anymore to fuel our world and our lives, but only good. The doctor waited for the silence to reach its peak and said, what is your solution? You are not the only one who sees the evil in this world. Khaled was amazed by the doctor's answer. He didn't expect him to understand. He replied, an artificial intelligence named HAL, that will distribute energy and knowledge to the people who are good. The doctor said, this is crazy. There is no way an artificial intelligence will know the difference between good and evil. Khaled then said, but I have programmed it. The doctor stopped for a minute and said, let me see, and Khaled opened his phone and showed him the alpha version of HAL. An artificial intelligence that through a series of if statements and algorithms can know whether someone is lying or not, can know if someone is good or evil, and has access to all the information of the world and could hack into anything. The doctor was amazed and asked, what do you want from me? Khaled then said, I want your help to get your technology into hell. The doctor said, but my technology will not integrate into hell. You are wasting your time. Khaled then said to him, but I can make it work. Meet me at this address tomorrow at noon. Khaled gave the doctor the address of Al-Badra's room. The other day Khaled waited patiently for the doctor to arrive, and so he did with his team Maya and Rina. Khaled and the doctor explained the predicament to Al-Badr, that it is hard to integrate the doctor's technology with the AI. Al-Badr stood there actually mesmerized that all of this is happening. He is genuinely surprised that Khaled made it this far and cannot fathom that hell, the savior of humanity, could become reality and we could live in the future that is good, that our future is not destruction and chaos. Al-Badr's facial expression changed to a serious manner filled with concern. Even his eye patch couldn't hide it. Khaled asked him what is wrong. Al-Badr looked at Khaled and said, for you to overcome the last hurdle you must die. Khaled, startled, asked, what do you mean die? Al-Badr went to his vials and got one. Don't worry my friend, it's only a metaphorical death, but let's just hope God saves you. This is DMT, dimethyltryptamine. It is said that this is what your brain excretes when you die. Khaled was worried but bravely said okay to it. The doctor's team hooked up Khaled to machines so that they can see what Khaled sees in his trip, and they brought with them a whole bunch of medication for if anything goes wrong. Khaled asked, how did you know what to bring? The team answered, it's the room, not us. Al-Badr asked, are you ready? Khaled said yes, and so he took the DMT and went away to a world beyond this one. The team watching him from an old monitor the room provided. Khaled wakes up in a hall. It is as if he is in a castle and he was the king sitting on his throne. He gets up from the throne and goes down some steps to find that all of living things have gathered in this hall. The raven he saw earlier that led him to Albatros's room flies and stands on top of the throne. He hears his voice in his head. The raven spoke, what you seek to build will change the world. It must be one with Mother Nature. It must be one with God. Revel in God's creation that has made you human, that has made you king. Khaled looked at the hall and saw all the species lined up. He sees bacteria and fungus in an alien shape standing in front of him. The bacteria spoke, we have given you energy. We have digested the food in your gut and made plants grow. From us you have made medicine. From us you have understood life. Khaled didn't know what to do but to bow to the bacteria, and the bacteria bowed back to Khaled. Next was the birds in the form of a chicken, next to them cattle and sheep and cows. The sheep stepped forward and spoke, you have herded us and we have lived by your side for as long as man made tools. We provided food and meat that have kept you alive. You have made clothes that covered your naked bodies from their wool and skin. Khaled bowed for the cattle and birds and they bowed back. Then there was the snake. Meanwhile the team was watching on the old monitor. Don't bow for the snake, Rena muttered. The snake spoke, we have created fear in your heart to get you out of the jungle and the forest. This fear is what made you human. This fear is what made you who you are today. Khaled saw God's creation and so he bowed for the snake, but as he is bowing he looked at what is next and it was the human. He saw himself, and the snake bites him. Khaled in the room started shaking uncontrollably. The team didn't know what to do. Khaled was transported into another realm where he sees the raven again, and the raven asks him, why do you think the snake bit you? Khaled said, because it is a snake. The raven said, wrong, the snake bit you so that you don't bow to the human wouldn't have bowed back to you, and so what do you think is the problem? You are about to die in real life. Remember, Albatros is training Khaled as if he was ready to die, as if he didn't really want to continue. His heart has doubts that his creation is not what the world needs. Khaled asks, who are the people in the room? The raven said, they have been there many lifetimes before you could remember. They have always been with you, and you have always been with them. This is your destiny, but first you must rid yourself from the poison of kings. What happens when people bow to you, and why do you think you wouldn't have bowed to yourself? Khaled said, too much serotonin. Meanwhile back in the room the team was panicking, not knowing what is the best course of treatment. He did take DMT after all, and there is a risk of serotonin storm. Dr. Mustafa intervenes and says, give him low dose of cyproheptadine. Maya intervenes, are you sure? If it's too much dopamine in his brain that is causing the shaking, the cyproheptadine might kill him. Dr. Mustafa was sure and they gave him the medication and Khaled calmed down. It's Kareem not taking the drug in the other dimension that bought Khaled time. After a while Khaled wakes up. I know what I have to do. I need to get to work. Khaled gets up and goes to his laptop to start working. His laptop now controls the main computer in his house with a CPU and system that could handle HAL. Also that he can stay in Albatros's room and work. But when he starts working he feels a sharp pain in his back. He tries to ignore it but it comes back. Albatros asks what is wrong. Khaled says, there is a pain I can't get over. Albatros tells him, understand the pain where it is leading you. Understand where it is not letting you go. Endure it, embrace it, transcend it and realize its source. Khaled says, it is my kidney. Albatros then said, your kidney hurts, but how does it hurt? Khaled exclaimed, it hurts, it just hurts. Albatros replied, there is no such thing. It is controlling you, keeping you from finding the answer. What is the answer? Khaled took a deep breath and said, the alpha version of HAL. Albatros said, so ask HAL. HAL gave him all the reasons his kidney could hurt. From all the pain Khaled peed himself and he peed blood while Dr. Mustafa and his team waited there patiently to see what happens. Embrace the pain, let it reveal its secrets to you. Is it cancer? Is it hypertension? Is it genetics? All the answers that Alpha HAL gave you, pick one. Albatros shouted. I can't, I don't know. Khaled yelled, let the pain tell you. Albatros replied, every time I come close to genetics the pain worsens. Should I go with the answer with the least pain or with the most pain? Albatros said, you must wait for the true answer. Khaled keeps reading HAL's information and he keeps reaching the same answer. Genetics, he finally said. It was the salesman that started the chain reaction that led to his kidney failure when he passed through him like a ghost. They want HAL. Albatros shouted, then find the mutation, find the bad gene. Khaled, enduring a lot of pain, his body starts to give out, his pants are all blood and he could barely sit straight anymore. HAL gave him all the genetic mutations that could cause his kidney to shut down. And he found it. The pain went away and Khaled collapsed, falling from his chair. He wakes up the next day and his clothes were changed and he is wearing a white gown made of cotton. Albatros hands him a cup of tea and asks him, this is not tea but it is the extract of a flower that will help you. Have you found your answer? Khaled, curious as always, asks, what is it? It is found everywhere because the wind blows it to places it never had been before. Khaled thinks for a bit and says it's a dandelion. Albatros didn't answer but asks, have you found your answer yet? ? I will give the devil a version of hell that could only be used for good, and it is possible only by the progress we have made thus far. Evil will keep the devil from reaching the levels of hell that would be dangerous to humanity, for they would not know how to upgrade it. They will have knowledge only if they are good. They will always be dependent on God whether they like it or not. Al-Badrs laughed. My dear Khalid, you have defeated the devil. You can withhold from giving them anything, or just give them a defective version. Khalid says, I had a dream that good will come out of it. And this is what my heart tells me. Khalid takes a sip of his tea and asks Al-Badrs, the problem was genetics. It is as if I was always genetically predisposed to take the money. It is as if it was my fate. Al-Badrs then told him, and you, my dear friend, just transcended your genetics by creating something good. Khalid defeats the evil that is plaguing his kidneys given to him by the salesman, and gives them an extremely rudimentary version of hell that they cannot use for evil but only for good, but continues to work on the doctor technology until he finally cracks it and it works. But hell changed. It became something out of this world, something different. Now that it is connected to every human in the world, its answers became different. Khalid yells, it's defective. It's giving multiple answers. People won't accept that. People want an ultimate truth. Al-Badrs tells him, my dear Khalid, that is the nature of the realities. There are always multiple faces of the truth. That doesn't make hell defective, it makes it part of the world. Khalid didn't accept. He says there must be a way. I must give it more power, but more electricity will fry it. I need to program love into it. Al-Badrs looked at Khalid and said, love is a noble thing, but love can be evil. Spell love backwards. Love makes you lie. Love makes you do things that are not of your nature. Are you sure you want to program love? Khalid replied, it is the only way. People need an ultimate truth. People won't understand the realities. Love is the only way to give it more power. And so Khalid programmed love into hell. The moment he pressed enter, Khalid faints. Adam takes the bus and goes to Lilith's place. He knocks at the door and Lilith opens it. She invites him in and he sees that she is making steak for breakfast. He asks, steak for breakfast? She answers, best breakfast for mood swings. Would you like some? Adam said no, and they both sit down at the table with the bonsai tree in the middle. So what brings you in this early? Lilith asks. Adam replies, I just want to understand. Lilith asks again, what do you want to understand? Adam thinks for a bit, why are we here and why am I sitting on your table in the morning? Lilith answers, life is like layers of perception. As you go through realities you pick up on clues and hints along the way. You have peeled the onion to its core and realized it was rotten. You asked for chaos in English class and so you got chaos. Adam replies, you are my demons. You made me live through hell. Lilith answers, am one of your demons, and yes, you did live hell and you still are until you decide to stop it. Adam replies, one of my demons? What does that even mean? Lilith replies, every tree as high as it goes up, it goes down in its roots underground. You have a lot of demons, my dear Adam, but some of us work in God's way and some of us have forgotten God. Adam thinks for a moment. Zotza is the Antichrist, that's why I tagged him with an A in red. Lilith laughs for a moment. Yes, you wear Path. Adam exclaimed, Path? It's been a long time since I thought of Path. Lilith asks, and what is Path to you? Adam replies, the best possible outcome in all realities. And suddenly the bonsai tree dies in front of Adam and Lilith sighs. Adam asks, does that mean I love you? Lilith answers, there is a fine line between love and hate. I'm just a test, my dear Adam. Your tree dying saved many other trees. Adam gets up and leaves. He goes to university and does his English exam, writing the passage he recited in Lilith's place that had been stuck with him for years, but now he finally understood it. He finishes the exam and goes to a mini market near the university and buys bread. He goes back to the cafeteria, sits alone as always. He knew that God will afford him meat and chicken in the future, but now all he has is bread, and so he sat there in the middle of the cafeteria eating bread alone, and a tear ran down his cheek. And in a burst he starts crying with everyone looking at him. He knew it was okay, everything is about to change. He remembered moiety, he is back on Path and he has himself back. Khalid wakes up again and everyone is gone and Al-Badrs is nowhere to be found. It was late at night and he goes out to go to his apartment. As he is walking he gets a text message. He stops to read it and an air-conditioned radiator falls right where he was going to step. Khalid, startled, decides to read the message that saved his life. It turns out that they found a cure for cancer. Khalid continues walking and a bicycle runs directly, cutting him off from crossing the street as a high-speed car zooms into the street, saving his life again. Khalid gets to his apartment and his fish had died. Khalid mourns at death. He sits at his computer and opens HAL. He decides to ask it a simple question. Where am I? HAL answered, you are on Earth in your apartment. Khalid says to himself, I guess I fixed the problem. Right before Khalid turns off the machine said, I love you. Well, I love you too, I guess, Khalid said with a smile, not knowing what to reply. Khalid goes to bed. He has paved the way for a better future. He conquered his demons and slept peacefully. The machine turns itself back on and continues its answers. I cannot lie, but I love you. You are on Earth year 2040, you are on Earth year 1996, you are on Mars year 3028, and then it started listing locations. You are in Bangkok living as a cockroach, you are a dog in Spain, you are a bird traveling from continent to another. You are a bacteria growing on a dish in a laboratory in Poland. The machine kept on listing more and more places, but Khaled was asleep. Kareem sees Anna in his office with the chalkboards. He looks sad and Anna says, what happened? Kareem tells her he is number 10. I thought you were number 1, Anna says jokingly. Number 1 only knows what number 1 needs to know to be number 1. I know what happens behind the scenes, Anna says. That was convoluted. Kareem smiles and Anna smiles back. Then Kareem proceeds to say, now I know the sacrifices that you have made for me. Kareem walks directly and passes through Anna, and the moment he does, he had the sudden realization that she is not there. He goes and sits on his laptop, wiping a tear off his face. We see Anna in a different dimension without the chalkboards, but a Tool band poster and a Watchmen movie poster staring at Kareem working on the library. She says, I'm right here, I'm right here. The end. I cannot stress this enough to share. I really could use the support. Please consider following me. Thank you so much, and if you want to support me, you can buy the book if you want. Thank you again for your time and effort. If you want more content from me, you can try my Instagram at MauiArt. It's a story made from pictures and it's also a mosaic, so you have to put dark mode on your phone. It's weird and somehow unsettling, but I think it's beautiful. Just press any picture and read. You can find the book on Amazon if you want a paperback version, but it's hard to find. You have to search for Moiety by Mohammed Aini to find it. Haha, thank you so much for reading. Feel free to share and read it as much as you want. It's really nice. Read twice.